from the RFU. So you kind of knew this was going to be important. But if he had their backing before a kind of brave in defeat display in France, then presumably the same is going to be true now.
Yeah. Having checked in with the RFU today, it's kind of similar to last week. They want to get to the bottom of what's gone wrong, inquest and reviews, and they won't leave any stone unturned and all the usual stuff you'd expect to hear. But they still support the regime. I think, though, that last night showed us these are good England players. We knew they were good England players. I mean, these are England players who have been on Lions tours, that have been in World Cup finals, that have won stuff. Ollie Chessum was totemic. Alex Coles is coming of age. Maro Itoje's Maro Itoje. They've got young players like Finn Smith, who was back sort of attacking on the line and looking really full of confidence. We know Tommy Freeman on his day is a world beater. So it's not as if England teams in the past that have struggled, you could say, OK, they're short of good players. And yes, you could quibble whether England have enough world-class players, but they have a really good crop of players, which makes the middle three rounds all the more perplexing. And then the onus does fall on the management and on the coach Steve Borthwick and his assistants and the preparation and the mindset. And because they were able to play like that, Steve, with such intensity, with such creativity and such craft, it shows that they've got it in them. So why were they not able to deliver that? And then you wonder how much of it is about mindset. And that's what you would hope this RFU review will uncover. Not a case of, oh, look, they played well in the Stade de France, they can mix it with the best on their day, all is okay here. It's a 1 out of 5 campaign. It's pretty shoddy. So they have to get to the bottom of what was the reason behind that mid-tournament slump that has left England with their worst finish in Six Nations history. Because when they do play with a little bit of freedom and the empowerment which clearly they were given by the coaches last night, they look an excellent team.
Chris Patterson, let's finish with Scotland. Just imagine after round one of the Six Nations being told there's going to be heavy scrutiny on one of the home nation's coaches, and then it isn't Gregor Townsend. I mean, it just shows how quickly it can turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And it shows that, you know, it was a bit of an anomaly, the weather in Rome, but Italy totally deserved it in their performances over the championship. Obviously ran out of steam yesterday against a much more confident Wales side, a Wales side that's got their confidence probably from defence, and then now that's transformed into their attack a little bit. But Scotland were under pressure, but importantly they stuck together. They believed, and Gregor Townsend said through the November series as well, that you have to be a good side to score 17 answered points against New Zealand, to go 21-0 up against Argentina, teams that are above you in the world rankings. They weren't good enough to get over the line, and that was probably due to their mismanagement of momentum shifts. So they put a lot of that right, that the momentum shift or understand the momentum within the game, I think, was a big focus going into the Six Nations. They got it wrong in Rome, so the pressure ramped up even further. But even although it's a third place finish for Scotland, those three performances against England, away in Wales and then home to France were all quite different, but were sensational. And yesterday, Scotland were a little bit inaccurate in the first half, but they had a huge amount of fight in the second half against a massively physical Irish side that dominated a lot of things in and around the breakdown. So I think there's positives. There's more to come from Scotland. I think Gregor deserves huge credit. I think the team deserves huge credit, and also them as a collective unit working together, sharing the same message, supporting each other inwardly and externally, I think is really important. Just quickly on the England point, I think yesterday probably highlights more frustrations for England fans and players because how good it was compared to the other 3 weeks, and I totally agree with what Chris is saying. The one caveat I would say, France allow you to play like that because they want to play like that. If England are looking ahead, even Ireland or even Italy, South Africa in the summer, if an opposition doesn't let you play at that tempo and get up, something that Scotland perhaps have maybe struggled with in the past, how do you control the game or have a multi-court, an all-court game and all that variety? So it throws up a lot of questions, but the Six Nations always does. It takes us from the darkness of winter to the springtime, and I'm sitting in Edinburgh looking at the sun, so I've got a reasonable smile on my face.
Lovely stuff, Chris. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Cheers,
correspondent
everyone.
Chris Jones and Scotland's record point scorer Chris Patterson. Goal in the WSL, London City Lionesses Arsenal. Sahel.
Thank you.
Second one to Arsenal, Steve. London City 0, Arsenal 2, coming in the 76th minute. Good combination between Alessia Russo and Stina Blackstenius, and Blackstenius finished off the move. We've got about 10 minutes to play. Should be all 3 points now for Arsenal. London City Lionesses 0, Arsenal 2.
Other scores: Spurs 1, Everton 1, Liverpool 1, Leicester 0 and Villa 0, Manchester City 0, still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1 in the Scottish Premiership. We'll be back talking all things Premier League ahead of our 2 o'clock commentaries after the news on 5 Live with Alison Hughes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. The Energy Secretary Ed Miliband says the government will intervene to help if energy costs surge. There are growing concerns about the impact the conflict in the Middle East could have on bills and fuel prices in the UK. Iran's foreign minister has insisted the country's new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, is in good health and fully in control, after President Trump suggested he might be dead. Israel has carried out further strikes on Iran and Lebanon, where it's targeting strongholds of the Tehran-backed militant group Hezbollah. The leader of the Liberal Democrats, Sir Ed Davey, says the government must start work as a matter of urgency on an independent nuclear deterrent. Speaking on the BBC's Sunday with Laura Koonsberg, Sir Ed said the UK had to end its reliance on American facilities for maintaining Trident missiles and, in the longer term, make its own replacement.
It's going to be a very difficult decision, but I regret to say I think it's the right response for Britain's defence. You know, when you've got presidents in the White House like Donald Trump, totally unreliable, I don't think we can have our nuclear deterrent dependent on, the mood at breakfast of the person in the Oval Office.
The Reform UK leadership of Kent County Council say they will try to declare an illegal migration emergency in the county this week, describing the arrival of migrants at Dover as an invasion. Opposition politicians are accusing Reform of scaremongering. And Prince William has shared a previously unseen photo of himself and Princess Diana to mark Mother's Day. In a post on X, he said he was thinking of anyone who was remembering someone today.
On BBC iPlayer.
Get back! Everyone get back!
Suspect on the move. Lower ground level.
Everything from heart pounders.
He is the man behind this.
Beautiful strike. What a ball! It's 2-0!
To heart warmers.
Welcome. I'm so proud of you. Well done.
Yay!
Mum is surprising me, and it's quite inspiring.
I feel alive. This is amazing.
From high-stakes action to feel-good favourites. Why ever you stream, BBC iPlayer.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
We've got 3 Premier League commentaries for you in just under 20 minutes' time. Here on 5 Live, huge game in the race for Champions League football. Manchester United, Aston Villa. John Murray.
Yes, Benjamin Sesko, only a substitute for Manchester United, despite 3 goals in his last 4 appearances. Amad Diallo comes in for him. Aston Villa have their captain, John McGinn, back in the starting lineup for the first time since January. And Ross Barkley as well, who gets his first start in the Premier League for 14 months. Tyrone Mings also back in the side.
On Sports Extra, if you just want commentary of Nottingham Forest Fulham, that's where you'll find it. Lee Blakeman.
Forest's form for large parts of this season has been miserable at best. The recent numbers: 1 win in 9 in all competitions, no wins in 6 in the Premier League, no home wins at all in 2026. But still, despite that draw today, and they're out of the bottom 3 on goal difference, 3 changes as Williams, Sangari and Milenkovic all come in to start. Fulham changed 3 from their last league game as Anderson, Wilson and Bob replaced Chukwueze, Kenny and Diop. Fulham looking to avoid a 3rd straight defeat.
That's big at the bottom of the table, as is the game on Sports Extra 2. Crystal Palace against Leeds. Aaron Paul.
Yeah, the big news ahead of this one. Dean Henderson misses out in between the sticks for Palace. He's struggling with illness. Walter Benitez comes in for his Premier League debut. Will Hughes and Jefferson Lerma also slot into midfield. Leeds make mass changes to the side that won in the Cup last weekend. Darlow, Justin, Roden, Strouk, Ampadu, Stack, Aronson and Calvert-Lewin all come in. Victory for Daniel Farke's side could lift them 6 points above the relegation zone.
Your choice of listening continues on Sports Extra 3 with the Women's League Cup final at 2:15. It's Chelsea against Manchester United. Molly Stevens.
And what a final we have in store for not just the fact that this is the first trophy of the English season to be handed out today, but how crucial could this be at such a pivotal part of the season. This time last year, this trophy started what would be the beginning of a treble season for Chelsea, with the defence of their WSL title seemingly out of reach. Could winning today be what they need to reignite their season? They face a Manchester United side who play in their first final.
In the Scottish Premiership, a Dundee derby at Dens Park. Martin Dowden.
Victory for Dundee would see them leapfrog their rivals and move 10 points clear of the relegation playoff spot. United hanging on by a thread in the top 6 fight, 10 points behind Falkirk right now. 3 changes to their lineup. They need a win. Dundee name an unchanged team for the 4th game in a row, unbeaten in that run. A real battle ahead in this Dundee derby duel.
That one kicks off at 2 o'clock, but we're in the final stages of St Mirren against Rangers. Jane Lewis.
Rangers still leading this one 1-0, but St Mirren are piling on a bit of pressure, playing with plenty of energy as they look for the equaliser. Their final ball's letting them down though. Tumar Roman's close range strike, still the only goal in this one.
Any sign of a breakthrough in the game between Aston Villa and Manchester City? Sophia Hartley.
Not yet. Goalless here. City, though, have found their feet in this second half and are looking more like the league leaders after a poor first half. But both sides have crucially lacked quality in the final moments. 88 minutes gone here. Villa 0, City 0.
Other live scores for you. Liverpool have just doubled their lead in the last minute. Liverpool 2, Leicester 0. Spurs 1, Everton 2. So we've got commentary on 5 Live of Manchester United, Aston Villa. We mentioned Crystal Palace Leeds is on Sports Extra 2. Forest Fulham on 5 Sports Extra. Wrong end of the table looks like this. If we start with Leeds, played 29-31 points. Then Spurs played 29-29 points. West Ham played 30-29 points. And then the bottom 3 is Forest played 29-28 points. Burnley played 30-20 points and Wolves played 30-16 points. We've got Lucy Ward, Julien Laurent and Nader Manua all with us on Premier League Sunday. Mark Schwarzer is part of your commentary team at Selhurst. Afternoon, Mark.
Good afternoon.
Just reading Daniel Farker saying 7 to 9 more points are needed to stay in the league. At this stage of the season, we can kind of recalibrate that 40-point mark. Do you look at Leeds and think they're going to be fine?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, look, this is the nitty-gritty part of the season, isn't it? This is where the pressure really starts to mount. Leeds have looked pretty comfortable to the large parts of the season. You felt that they're always just got enough. But as you get closer, you see the end target, you know that teams below you start winning. There's a massive psychological change shift in West Ham, bridging that gap for all those teams that have been sucked into it now. And that is the difficulty for a lot of these teams who have been in the safe zone for vast parts of the season, but now feel like there's a real pressure and real heat on them now.
I do, having done the Leeds-Sunderland game, and Leeds, obviously I live in the area, so I sort of are in tune with what the fans are thinking. And they've been really pleased so far. Everything's, gone all right since the switch to 3-5-2. But now, after that Sunderland and the other results in that last midweek, looking nervous. And there's always one team who think they're safe, who think that they've just done enough. And I think at this point, it was Leeds. Just before the Sunderland game, I think they thought, you know what, let them fire out underneath me. The Spurs have gone down there. I think, Palace have sort of secured themselves, I think. But Leeds are now, and they're not scoring goals. That's a problem. And they do create, but they don't put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah, I felt quite comfortable about Leeds, but then Forest and West Ham, they're just still managing to get some points on the board. And I think in some ways, for as much as, we're going to be fair to them, Burnley aren't really part of this, are they? So we're looking realistically for one team dropping out of 4. And to be above that line now, you've got to like your odds. Leeds being the top of that little mini table, I think is hugely significant, because for them to go down as such, you need them to perform the worst out of 4 teams between now and the end of the season. There is something psychological and perhaps more to just being above that line, and to be above that line by a few positions. They've not necessarily, been magnificent as such, but they're very competitive. They don't lose as many games as some of the teams behind them. And as Daniel Farker said, if you present the challenge to the players, you need probably 7 or 8 more points to stay up. And you're looking at doing that from 9 games. Doesn't feel like a lot, does it?
Last game of Leeds this season,
Go on.
away at West Ham. And I think 3rd from last, away at Spurs, by the way.
Do you think there'll be anything riding on that game, Jules?
I think for one of them. It might be done by then or not. And if all is on that game at the London Stadium, that would be, just imagine. But even that, before that, the Spurs game, they also play Burnley and Wolves, but I agree with Nathan, those Burnley and Wolves are gone already, but those games might not be easy to play for Leeds, and then that's when you start to go back to what Lucy was saying rightly. You start looking at those fixtures and say, okay, do you get a point when they go to Old Trafford? What about Bournemouth away? At home to Wolves? That's not going to be... And then you start looking for leads and think, okay, those 7 to 9 points that Daniel Farke mentioned, where are they getting them?
The Forest one, I think, Mark, is really interesting because they are the team third bottom right now, so let's start with that. But also the fact that I wonder how damaging that was for them in midweek. Firstly, it's an extra game in Europe at a time when Premier League points are so big. And secondly, having lost it, that doesn't do much for anyone, especially the new manager.
No, it doesn't. And you hear the boos around the ground. There's a lot of frustration of where Forest really are at the moment. And in a season where it should be full of joy and excitement of being back in Europe, it is about, third manager? Fourth manager? I've lost track. And there is just so much uncertainty left and so much to play for, and so much riding on everything. It's a crazy situation. Today's game is enormous. Tottenham, the next game, you've got Burnley. See, each of them have, this is the thing about the table and what people have, how many teams, or what the opposition is like for a lot of these clubs going into the end of the season. And it really does put pressure on everyone. They've got teams that are below them. They've got teams that they're in direct competition with, trying to stay in the league. This is where it really defines a season. They've got to try and put behind them the disappointment of what they've had so far this season, but now roll their sleeves up in almost like a mini little season. They've got 9 games left, and now is when they've got to make a defining moment in their season by winning these games to get enough points to stay in the league.
Mark, thank you very much. Have a good one.
Cheers.
That's Mark Schwarzer. You'll get commentary from him this afternoon. Crystal Palace versus Leeds United, 2 o'clock on Sports Extra 2. Sports Extra, Forest versus Fulham. These are the sounds of Old Trafford. Manchester United versus Aston Villa in full here on 5 Live with John Murray and Dion Dublin. Dion, I just wanted to talk actually about Ross Barkley a little bit here, because John was just mentioning how long it's been since he started a Premier League game. We started the programme today talking about Max Dowman and what a young superstar, effectively, or expected to be superstar, can do. Ross Barkley was that kid as well, and he's had a good career, hasn't he? But it just goes to show that a great career is not a given.
No, absolutely not. I think Ross, to be fair to him, has had some terrible injuries, and the teams that he's gone to play for, unfortunately, he's been, challenging against players that are younger and in form, so he's not had the football he wants to have. But you know what? I don't think that's a bad move today at all. I think he's got all the experience you need to take on a situation like this, where you have to be secure, you have to be very, very disciplined. I still think he's a very good footballer as well, so I have no problems with that decision at all.
Just to remind everyone, Steve, of that unique career path of Ross Barkley, having started at Everton, during that time had a couple of loan spells at Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds. Then he made that move to Chelsea, had a loan move to Aston Villa, then moved to Nice, from where he moved to Luton, that unusual Nice-Luton double. And then 2 years ago, 2024, made the £5 million permanent transfer to Aston Villa. But as I say, this is just his second start of this season in any competition. So he started in the recent FA Cup match in the 4th round against Newcastle. First start in the Premier League since the 4th of January 2025.
It sort of feels, Joel, that he refound himself in France and then sort of rubber stamped it back in the Premier League with Luton.
Yeah, I think that year in France did him a lot of good, really, and maybe he felt like he had to leave England and the UK to just relaunch that career, because the move to Chelsea, although the second season was not bad, overall maybe it was just not the right choice for him career-wise. But to go to France, where they obviously no expectation, there was nothing about Ross Barkley, the England international. It'd been a long time since he played for England anyway. He was not that wonder kid that you mentioned, Steve, that I think that might have come with a lot of pressure at the time, being at Everton and the centre of attention, all of that. In France, he was not like that. I think he had a really simple life, did really well on the pitch in Ligue 1, a league that is obviously not as good as the Premier League, where he found his confidence back, the mojo back, the fitness back. That worked really well for him. And then I was surprised even after that it was only Luton really his way back to the Premier League, because I thought other clubs could have seen the opportunity there.
He also has John McGinn back in that midfield, Nathan, which is really, really important. We talked about fatigue, especially when you've been playing in Europe. If you've got one of your most important players and they've had not the time off you want because of an injury, but somebody fresh of his significance.
Yeah, of course, somebody coming back in like that, who is the captain of your football club. I think that obviously goes a long, long way, and you just hope from his perspective that, you know, he can come back and find his rhythm quite quickly. Because these games, like, the manager's trusting him to go out there and to try and, you know, put forward the plan to be successful. These games are massive. This is a huge game for Aston Villa. All the stuff about Thursdays, Sundays and so on, and the runs that have been on, that's great to this point. But the games going forward, each one of them is enormous, because it really dictates not just this season, but what next season could look like as well. So for him to come back, it's a massive boost, and hopefully for them, they can get a couple more players in as well.
Yeah, and a lot of what Emery does is through those central areas, and so he carries the ball well, McGinn, not just passing, you know, in terms of winning the ball back if Villa lose it in those central areas. And I think just having that sort of emotional tempo of the game he brings to it, being the captain, being the leader, I think it's, and like Nedum said, it's so important for Villa this game. It's a tough one because Man United have been, you know, working up to this game for however many days, not played for a while, so they'll be fresh, and Villa it's just a relentless schedule. But the winner of this will be interesting to see who stays around that sort of top five.
I'm really interested, Jules, in that midfield battle today. Barkley, who we've been talking about, with Onana against Menu and Casemiro, who as soon as he announced he was going to leave, has suddenly become like sort of Real Madrid vintage Casemiro.
The wonder of what not playing in Europe makes you when you're that age.
Absolutely.
You know, it's that. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. I watched Onana on Thursday night against Lille, and okay, he was going back where he played before, you know, etc. But he was a Rolls Royce in that midfield. That is just so good. And you're right today. Who puts the other midfield more under pressure? Who recovers the ball the highest? Who prevents Casemiro, Menu to dictate the tempo of the game? The key would be there. You would expect Bruno to work as hard, that McGinn to help the double pivot of each team, really, which is going to be fascinating in itself, because if Villa restrict Bruno too in his creativity for United, obviously you take a big part away of what this team under Carrick has been doing with Bruno as a 10. So it'd be very interesting to see if Onana or Barkley or McGinn, whoever is in Bruno's zone the most, and who gets the best out of the other, really.
Jules, Nedum, Lucy, thank you all very much indeed.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Lucy Ward, Julian Laurent and Nedum Manur, who've been with us on Premier League Sunday. Teams are in the tunnel at Old Trafford and Selhurst Park and the City Ground. Reminder of your choice of listening. If you want only Crystal Palace against Leeds United, that's on Sports Extra 2. If you want Nottingham Forest versus Fulham only, that's on 5 Sports Extra. Here on 5 Live, we're focused on Manchester United versus Aston Villa. And you'll get all of the other live updates from all of the other live sport going on up and down the land. It is time to make your choice. Full time starting to come in the Women's Super League. Aston Villa, Manchester City. Sophia Hartley.
Full time, Aston Villa 0, Manchester City 0. It was a game of two halves. Villa had the better first, with City coming back into the second, but both sides crucially lacked quality in front of goal. Very uncharacteristic of the City we've seen this season, perhaps feeling a bit rusty after the international break, but they still go 9 points clear at the top. Villa's performance, while frustrating not to score, a clean sheet won't go amiss, and it will relieve the pressure on Natalia Arroyo. Villa 0, City 0 at half full time.
Yep, 9 points clear of Manchester United, 10 points clear of Chelsea. They play each other in the Women's League Cup final, which you can listen to at 2:15 live from Ashton Gate on Sports Extra 3. Back to the WSL, finished at London City Lionesses Arsenal. Sahel Sahi.
Yeah, London City 0, Arsenal 2, a goal in each half. It was assured from Arsenal. Olivia Smith and Stina Blackstenius has taken the chances they were presented. Arsenal, they remain in 4th and have 2 games in hand, Steve, over the 3 teams above them. Full time, London City 0, Arsenal 2.
In the Scottish Premiership, Rangers needed to win at St Mirren, and they have. Jane Lewis.
Yes, they have. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. A big win for Rangers. They stayed third, only 3 points now off leaders Hearts though, and 1 point off Celtic in second spots in this intriguing title race. Only one goal in this one. It came in the first half. Timur Romans with his first goal for Rangers, scoring from close range. Thilo Asgard then had a late strike ruled out for offside. I have to say, St Mirren played with plenty of energy and intent, made it a little bit nervy in the second half as the clock ticked on, but the final ball just let them down. They are now in real trouble with that relegation playoff spot in mind, but a big win for Rangers in this title race that finished here in Paisley. St Mirren 0, Rangers 1.
So often this season the top three in Scotland have been separated by 1 game or 2 games. Now they have all played 30. Rangers third, 60 points. Celtic second, 61. Hearts top of the league on 63. We're ready to go then at Old Trafford. Full commentary on 5 Live of Manchester United against Aston Villa with Dion Dublin and correspondent John Murray.
Yes, welcome everyone inside a very wet Old Trafford. I'm just looking down on Unai Emery, the Aston Villa manager, who is stepping very carefully down the quite steep slope there is from the side of the pitch down into the dugouts, because it will be slippery there, and he's managed to negotiate it, and waiting for him at the bottom was Michael Carrick, who gave him a warm handshake. I noticed Michael Carrick as well welcoming Victor Lindelof back to Old Trafford as well, who's on the bench for Aston Villa today. So the teams are out. Old Trafford in very good voice. All of the flags are up in the lower tier of the Stretford end. But it feels like, Dion Dublin, we've gone back about 6 weeks weather-wise. It is cold, and it has been very, very wet while the players were warming up.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped pre-match. I mean, it's been, you get to see from our angle here, the swirling wind, the rain. No sprinklers today needed, let me tell you.
Oh, and at times rain and water has been coming down through the roof of Old Trafford. It's been raining that heavily. Well, Anthony Taylor's the referee. He's in the centre circle. The captains have gone through the pre-match routines, and this is, as we see on the front of today's match programme, the 100th time Manchester United have played at home against Aston Villa. The programme has pictures of the various programme covers over the decades, and here in March 2026 it is 3rd against 4th in the Premier League. They're level on 51 points, 10 points behind Manchester City in 2nd, 3 ahead of Chelsea in 5th. So the winner will make a big stride forward in terms of Champions League places, if there is to be a winner. Manchester United with Lamens in goal, Dalot, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw, Casemiro, Menu, captain Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. Sesko is only on the bench, if you weren't with us earlier. Benjamin Sesko, after his 3 goals in his last 4 appearances. There's the whistle from Anthony Taylor. It's Aston Villa who kick off in the creamy white shirts with the purple shorts and the white socks, and immediately Villa attacking down the right, but there's a push on Luke Shaw, and it's a free kick to Manchester United in their own left-back position. And the Aston Villa team for this one: Martinez, the goalkeeper, Bogard, Konza, Mings and Digne at the back, then Onana with Ross Barkley and John McGinn. So the captain McGinn, he's starting for Aston Villa for the first time since January. Came on as a substitute in the week on Thursday night in Lille. Ross Barkley, 2nd start of the season, his first start in the Premier League for 14 months. Then Morgan Rogers and Emiliano Buendia and Ollie Watkins as the centre forward. The rain has eased as Manchester United fire this free kick forward over the top of Mbeumo. There's Mings on the edge of the box, and then it's fly kicked out towards the far side, where it will bounce out of play by Diogo Dalot. So Aston Villa not in the best form, Dion, on their worst run since early season. They've won 1 of their last 6 in the Premier League, as Digne just has to pull that ball away from Mbeumo and then will hit it left-footed downfield. Manchester United lost last time they played against Newcastle 11 days ago. That their first defeat under Michael Carrick. Casemiro passing the ball forward. Konza heads it down. Cunha plays it. Couldn't find the pass to Dalot. Is intercepted by Digne. And Villa will come forward with the tall, rangy, I think is the word, isn't it, for Onana, who gets the ball back and will go back to the edge of his penalty area.
Yeah, he does a great job for Villa, I think. Keeps it nice and simple, incredibly physical. I mean, we mentioned Ross Barkley there, but these are the kind of games he loves. Nothing will faze him at all. He's done everything. He's played everywhere. And he'll love this one. The thing about Villa's form as well, you know, they could be having a bad time, but I'll tell you from experience, when you come to Manchester United, you up your game. 10, 20, 30%.
Yeah, Villa, who have won precisely 2 of their last 37 league matches against Manchester United here at Old Trafford. So their record is not great. Lost their last 5 here in all competitions. And Villa going back to goalkeeper Martinez. McGinn in quite an advanced position, actually, as we look at it, with Barkley and Onana as the 2 more central midfielders, defensive midfielders. Martinez trying to pass the ball out to Dina, has passed it 10 yards behind him, and the cheers from the United fans, straight out of play for United throw.
He's just a little bit too slow, Martinez, you know, again, like we've seen many times with centre-half, studs on the ball, waiting for a movement, waiting for a red shirt to commit, to close him down, which leaves one of his players free, but United not doing that, and he's been forced a mistake there.
Just when the ball bounced out of play, a couple of the Manchester United players, Menu and Yoro, I noticed, down on one knee, sorting out their boots, tying their laces again. Luke Shaw does nicely. Over there on the far side, he's away from Morgan Rogers. Shaw gives it out to the left. Cunha with a cross into the back post. Dina stretching, he gets a header away, and then Onana is back in there, and he's able to head it down into the Villa right back area. Lovely play, Luke Shaw.
Yeah, great play, very positive. I'm thinking to myself, that's an in-swinging cross there, and I'm thinking, Martinez, come and get that. The ball's in the air a long time, and he waits, and he's headed away about 5 yards away from his goal line. He's got to come and take charge and help his teammate out there.
Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, but there is a choice of listening right now, because 3 Premier League matches are underway, kicking off at 2 o'clock. So Nottingham Forest against Fulham, you can hear that on Sports Extra. Crystal Palace Leeds is on Sports Extra too, as Villa win a free kick in the centre circle, a foul on McGinn. So Crystal Palace Leeds, Sports Extra 2. You must have the BBC Sounds app to listen to Sports Extra 2. Likewise, Sports Extra 3, very shortly, the Women's League Cup final between Chelsea and Manchester United will get underway in Bristol. Villa take the free kick long. Yoro heads it away, bounces back into the penalty area. Oh, Harry Maguire's taken a bang there and gone flat on his face. I don't think it was like the last time we were here, Dion, when he made out as though he'd got a bash and it hadn't actually touched him. I think he did get a knock here, but he's all right.
Yeah, just a coming together between him and John McGinn, 2 very, very honest players. It was shoulder to shoulder. John McGinn just couldn't stop himself running into the box. Harry Maguire, not as strong as you would expect, and they're both having a bit of a smile at each other at the moment.
I have a feeling that McGinn and Maguire may have been talking about the same incident.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Might have had a mention. I don't know. John McGinn strikes me as the sort who, on the pitch, will have plenty to say for himself.
Yeah, I would think so, and I think they're both very similar players in regards, honest, get on with their job, no frills and spills, but always do a job, always affect a football match for their team.
Michael Carrick comes to the edge of his coaching area. This is his 8th match back in charge. After defeat at Newcastle, the city of his birth, 11 days ago, their first Premier League loss of 2026 that was. Maguire steps forward from the back and passes it beyond the run of Bruno Fernandes, so Bogard was able to move across from the right side of defence and pass that back to Martinez. Villa playing it out nicely. So Manchester United not played for 11 days. Villa involved in Europe on Thursday night. The only English conquering heroes this midweek of all of the teams that were playing, the 9 Premier League teams involved in the various European club competitions that actually won their first leg. Looking forward to having all of that covered for you on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday night next week. Stretch from Yoro with a ball that was passed forward for Buendia to chase, just got a leg to it.
Yeah, it's a really good ball as well from Konsa in his own half as well. He just tried to bend it around a midfield player of Kobbie Mainoo and round Yoro, and I actually think that Ollie Watkins was in, but it's a last-ditch toe from Yoro that gets that ball to safety. But it's a really good ball.
That is Dion Dublin, ideal summariser for this match, former Manchester United and Aston Villa player, and I think I think I'm right in saying you're going to be at the second leg, aren't you? The
I am.
Lille match on Thursday night.
Thursday night, yes.
Yep, for the commentary when Villa will try and see it through to the quarter-finals, where they'll play either Bologna or Roma, who are all square. No European football for Manchester United. There's Casemiro, lovely pass, or lovely looking pass. Beautifully weighted, that, wasn't it? He was hoping for the run in field from Dalot, but Tyrone Mings was able to get there first. Passes it back at pace to Martinez. Little optical illusion there for me as he controlled it. It was as though it bounced past him, but he was able to control it, pass it out. And now Bogard puts it out of play down the Villa right, so throw into Manchester United.
Yeah, I mean, he was only 2 yards away from his own, goal line there, Martinez. But cool as you like, being closed down in Brumo, and he didn't faze him at all. Played it out to his fullback and just carried on.
So no goals yet in the Premier League. Commentary to come on Liverpool-Tottenham from 4:30. Be fair to say Liverpool are favourites going into that one at Anfield, as Villa win a free kick in the central third. And if you just switched on, still St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. Can't be long to go in that match as the ball is played out towards the left-hand side for Villa. Dino with a cross. It's a high one towards the back post, which is headed away by Luke Shaw. Barkley gets a touch for Villa. Then Bogard. Barkley, 32 years old now, Ross Barkley. Nice, actually, as the ball comes back to him. Lovely touch with both feet. And then Villa go back to Ezri Konsa, and Manchester United are forcing them away out of their own half. Manchester United, who've won all of their home matches when Michael Carrick has been the manager, either in this spell or that little time as the interim after Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So he's actually going for 6 home wins out of 6 as a Manchester United manager here, as Barkley tries to play it through the middle. It bounces away out to Bogard on the right-hand side. Now here's Morgan Rogers, very much on the right. In comes the cross, and even though players challenged for it on the edge of the 6-yard area, no one could get a meaningful touch. Comes out to Digne on the left-hand side, and now Onana towering over Mbeumo holds the ball up. Then Buendia might have been fouled. He was by Casemiro, who does that footballer thing. Casemiro, both hands, he's got gloves on, both hands come up towards his face, shaking his head. How can you have given that as a free kick? Anthony Taylor says probably because it was a foul.
Yeah, not a lot in it, to be fair. I think Buendia's looking for a little bit of contact. He gets the contact that he was expecting, and he goes down and makes sure the referee sees it. This is 20, 30 probably yards out. Probably not shootable, but you never know with Morgan Rogers over the ball.
Just watching that again, I think he was unlucky there, Casemiro. He sort of stepped into it, but I'm not sure there was any touch on Buendia. If there was, it was...
Do you need a touch nowadays to get a free kick?
That's a very good question. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. 5 live from the BBC. And this free kick, so we've got over half of the Villa team. There are 6 of them in discussions about this. So McGinn's there, Digne's there, Rogers, Konsa as well, and now Onana and Mings walk away, so they're all on the edge of the penalty area, and it is going to be Morgan Rogers who plays it to Digne, who made a run into the penalty area, but Amad Diallo was onto that, and the whistle's gone for an infringement. I think a kick on Amad Diallo, and it's a free kick to Manchester United inside their own penalty area.
Well, yeah, it was off the training ground, but it's probably one off the training ground there. We've got a vision of that technical free kick coach that Villa have. Forget his name now.
The long-haired Austin McPhee.
That's it. That's right.
the Scotsman.
I just seen him actually looking at his board. I think he did a cross there. He did a cross over that one. So that one's not going to be used again, I don't think. Get that one off.
Scratched off.
That didn't work. Get rid of that.
I walked past him on the stairs earlier this season at Villa Park, and I was surprised how thick his Scottish accent is.
I've never actually had a conversation with him.
Yeah, very, very broad Scottish accent he has. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Here's Amad Diallo, and pass forward, and then Buendia might have had a tug back. I think he was, giving us a free kick to Aston Villa. So Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 0 remain the latest scores. Both commentaries, as I say, available right now on BBC Sounds. But here on 5 Live, 0-0, and Villa with a free kick that Digne is going to play in field. Here's Onana in the centre circle. Then out to the left-hand side to Digne. Dalot in front of him, back in field. Onana is there again, back to Digne, but Dalot in tight this time, and it's out of play for a throw. Dalot back in for Mazraoui today. He was a bit of a doubt for this match, but Mazraoui is on the bench, along with Sk. Mason Mount as well, back on the substitutes bench for Manchester United, coming back from injury. Villa take the throw, and it's held up there by Ollie Watkins. It's very congested down in the full-back position. Manchester United come out with the ball. Casemiro then wins a free kick from Ollie Watkins. So a free kick to the home side at the Stretford end, which they're defending in the first half. Let's see how things have started in the other matches, big matches. First of all, City Ground, Lee Blakeman.
Forest 0, Fulham 0. Forest on top. They've had the game's best chance so far. Elliot Anderson's just gone bursting into the penalty area right side, 15 yards out, on his left foot, putting his shot wide of the bottom corner. Forest 0, Fulham 0.
And to Selhurst Park, Aaron Paul.
Crystal Palace 0, Leeds United 0. One major chance in this game. Brennan Johnson free kick, edge of the D. He got it up and over, but it deflected off a Leeds player behind for a corner. 0-0.
Manchester United attacking down the left-hand side. Here's the cross, right-footed from Bruno Fernandes, but Konsa was able to get up well and head it down, and good distance as well. Found McGinn. McGinn's pass forward. This is for Watkins to chase after as the lone striker, but Harry Maguire is able to come across and take the ball, and Manchester United have got it in front of their penalty area. Absolute classic. Ollie Watkins front running there.
It was. I mean, McGinn gets the ball, he's only 10 yards away from his own D, McGinn, and he's looking to play somebody in, but Ollie Watkins shows defeat, then goes in behind, but because Harry Maguire has this knack of being in the right place at the right time with his centre-half knowledge and strong running, he gets there just before Ollie Watkins. Really good defensive play, that.
Third from the other two Premier League matches. Rangers have won it 1-0 at St Mirren, so Rangers now in third place, 1 point behind Celtic, who are 2 points behind Hearts. Tight at the top of the Premiership, and just underway at Dens Park, the derby. Martin Dowden.
Dundee 0, Dundee United 0. The visitors closest to an opener when towering defender Euro Jovo powered a close-range header somehow over the bar with the net bracing itself. Hard fought but goalless in Dundee 11 minutes in.
Manchester United with the ball in the central third of the field, and a long pass, but immediately the apology comes from Cunha. He's overhit that by an absolute distance, and it's through for a goal kick for Aston Villa. All the full times now in the Women's Super League as well. Aston Villa's women 0-0 against Manchester City. Liverpool 2-0 winners against Leicester. London City 0, Arsenal 2, and Tottenham 1, Everton 2. And right about now, they'll be getting underway at Ashton Gate in the Women's League Cup final, Chelsea-Manchester United. We will keep you fully updated on that, and as I say, the commentary is on Sports Extra 3. Watch it on BBC One as well, actually. Long pass forward from Villa all the way over the top of Morgan Rogers and through to Lamans, the goalkeeper. 0-0. Still yet to properly get going, Dion, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be a midfield win. Whoever wins that midfield battle, unfortunately, is going to win this game, because there's some really good players in there, some old heads, some young legs, and it's keeping the ball, I think, and making sure that the person on the ball is getting the ball they receive so they can play the ball first time.
Casemiro near the centre circle, right-footed pass, that's taken down by Cunha, who's up against Bogard, goes back to Kobbie Mainoo, and then Casemiro chips it into the penalty area. Konsa heads it away, and then Harry Maguire in the centre circle, knowing that Watkins is not too far away, is able to just take no risks and pass it straight back to Lamans. I know we discussed this last time we were here, Dion, for the previous home match against Crystal Palace, but the date of England's next squad announcement gets closer, this coming Friday morning, when we will find out if Harry Maguire is back in that squad. And Burmo with a dart down the right, and then in comes the challenge, and it's out of play for a throw-in for United. I suppose Luke Shaw will probably be in the picture as well, plus one or two others too. Dalot is going to take this throw, holding the ball one-handed, high above his head, still waiting for the movement. Mainoo wants it, he gets it, gives it back to Dalot. Casemiro swings up a leg, is able to redirect it to Luke Shaw, and it's back to Shaw near the centre circle. Speaking of England, Ross Barkley was in the World Cup squad in Brazil as Cunha takes it down the left. Whoa, what a lovely cross! And it's put behind at the back post by Digne. But goodness me, that was a real teaser. I could feel you twitching, Dion, when that came over.
Oh my word, it's an incredible cross, I've got to say, from Cunha from the left-hand side. I mean, it goes down the outside of Bogard and actually doesn't for pace a little bit, gets ahead of him just by a yard, and then he just leaves it in an area. It looks like it's going into Martinez's hands, but it fades away from him towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody's there. Ahmad can't get there, and Boomer's too far away. That is a brilliant cross, and somebody should have been on the end of it.
That needed a Dion Dublin rather than an Ahmad Diallo challenge. He must be about a foot shorter than you. So it's a corner after Digne put it out. Bruno Fernandes to take this, just down in front of us. It's a deep one towards the back post. That's well headed away. It was little Buendia actually who got there ahead of Yoro to clear the penalty area. Then Cunha's cross, that's deflected over here towards Burmo. And Luke Shaw now, socks down, passes the ball forward. Cunha gives it back to Shaw, taps it in field. Manchester United actually go all the way back to Lamins in front of the penalty area to our left. So 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Still Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0, Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 0, the latest scores. Long one over the top from Burmo to chase, but over him it goes and bounces through to Martinez, who's able to just push it away to his right. In fact, the last time, if you remember, the last time they played each other here last season was when Martinez was sent off. Do you remember the controversial goal that was ruled out in this match? Unai Emery, how angry he was about that, as Villa were hoping to get back into the Champions League. In the end, Manchester United won the match 2-0, and Villa ended up in the Europa League. Villa very good winners though against Manchester United at Villa Park in December. Morgan Rogers scored 2 excellent goals in that match. Here's Digne, plays it back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Mings under these grey skies, but light grey skies above Old Trafford now. It's dry for the time being, as Martinez is able to walk the ball beyond the D, and then right-footed goes for the long pass over the top. Yoro still in the team with Martinez on the injured list. Alessandro Martinez, that is, as Nenu passes it forward, but Cunha was coming back from an offside position, so Villa will see it back to goalkeeper Martinez. Right-footed for Villa. Good header from Shaw. Bounces off Bogard. Then in the centre circle, Casemiro puts the challenge in, and now Villa on the back foot as Manchester United attack. Dallow's ball to the edge of the area. Ahmad Diallo, then Bruno Fernandes. He hits the shot. It actually straight into the back of Onana and bounces away to the far side for Manchester United. I thought Casemiro might have got away with a foul in the centre circle.
Yeah, I thought the referee was going to stop that attack, which was gathering pace by Villa.
Yes, I think Casemiro thought that as well, that Manchester United were allowed to play on. Dallo now with a cross. That's a good one. Bounces to the back post where Bogard, not sure where Cunha was, heads it behind. Corner, Manchester United from the left this time.
I mentioned earlier about Šeško and the 2 centre-halves of Villa having no one to mark because the big man's not there, and Bruno will take up different positions to what Šeško would. I mean, the cross from Cunha, the cross from Dallo, I'm pretty sure that Šeško would have been on one of those crosses.
Yeah.
Having centre forward on a cross like that, he would definitely get on the end of it.
Yep, Šeško though on the bench. Corner for Manchester United, still goalless here. So United's players mainly outside the 6-yard box, then in they go. Tyrone Mings though, running back to his own penalty, his own goal mouth, is able to head it away, headed over the top by Yoro, but Mings is there again for Aston Villa. Unai Emery spots something and suddenly comes darting forward with his arm outstretched. Casemiro crosses into the area, hits the shins of Mings and bounces behind for a goal kick.
I mean, there's been a couple of times now the ball has been headed away by centre-halves or Villa shirts 2 or 3 yards away from Martinez, and there's times I'm thinking, come and take the pressure off your team. Big shout of keepers, get the ball in 2 hands and clear the danger. He hasn't done it, he's hesitating.
Chuckling at myself with the shins of Mings. Sounds like a peninsula in Scotland. Had a lovely weekend in the shins of Mings. Here's Fernandez, deep cross with the corner. Maguire heads it back across. Oh, what a good save. Amad Diallo. Martinez diving to his right. Amad Diallo didn't get the power on that he would have wanted. The direction was good though, but Martinez sprung to his right and palmed it away. First big chance, still 0-0. Watkins, he's given it away to Bruno Fernandes, and now this is Manchester United. Counter-attack against the counter-attack, and Nana slides in, and Villa have got it back, and that comes to nothing. However, Villa might be aware this is a counter to the counter to the counter, as Digne is over the halfway line. Ollie Watkins on the left wing, then back to Ross Barkley, and the pace is suddenly just slowed again, and Manchester United are able to get back into position. But first big chance, Dion, the Amad Diallo header.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really difficult one. There was no pace on the cross. It's just bouncing down to him. It's coming out of the sky. He's got to put pace and power on it, and he did what he could. I think he did really well. It's actually going in, but Martinez reaching down to his right. He pushes it away out of the danger as well. Tough one that for Amad.
Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0, almost. In fact, we are midway through the first half. Going to go back to the City ground, but here's Ross Barkley. Barkley passing the ball out to Digne, corner of the Manchester United box. Watkins comes across, then he's able, Rodgers comes across, then he's able to get the ball in, whips it in, blocked on the edge of the penalty area. Luke Shaw actually almost had to go down onto one knee to block that. What a dangerous ball in that was from Morgan Rodgers from the angle. Now Mings passes it forward, the ball rattling around in the central third. Back to Barkley, who gives it to Digne again. Digne's low ball into the edge of the penalty area. McGinn goes for goal from inside the D with his left foot, but curls it well wide behind. Goal kick, Manchester United 0-0.
Difficult one that for McGinn, just trying to find that far corner there from the edge of the box. Corner of the D actually, trying to chip into that corner, but never troubling the keeper. Lamon's there just watching that one gone out, but I just feel that this game at the moment, we've said it many times, it's basketball. Nothing's happening in the midfield. It's going forwards. Villa are attacking, Man United are attacking. It's just that last pass has been cut out by a defender. Should have been a goal scored already, I think.
Yeah, and TV cameras just picking out just before Amad Diallo's header that was saved by Martinez that Casemiro may have been fouled inside the penalty area, but the video assistant referee Jared Gillett has presumably had a look at that and has decided to let it go. So 0-0 here at Old Trafford. Let's take you from Manchester to Nottingham and Lee Blakeman.
Forest 0, Fulham 0. What a chance for Fulham though. Free kick on the right, swung in, Bassi, free header 6 yards out, and Sells made a brilliant save with his legs on the line to keep it at Forest 0, Fulham 0.
And to South London, Aaron Paul.
Palace 0, Leeds with their first couple of opportunities of the game. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and now Pascal Strike firing headers straight at Walter Benitez, who's in goal this afternoon in place of the ill Dean Henderson. Palace 0, Leeds 0.
And next to Bristol, where the Women's League Cup final is underway with you, Molly Stevens.
Yeah, end-to-end in the first 10 minutes here, John. Best chance for Chelsea. Elizabeth Turland with a strike at the top of the D. Should have been a straightforward save for Hannah Hampton, but she couldn't get a full grip on the ball. It trickled past the goal to her right. Chelsea 0, Manchester United 0.
And still Dundee 0, Dundee United 0, near the Silvery Tay. Here's Martinez passing the ball out from the 6-yard box for Villa. And then McGinn swings it all the way back to Tyrone Mings. 25 minutes played. Dion Dublin sitting alongside. Back from Cheltenham, Dion, this week from the festival.
Yeah, really good day at Cheltenham. Found myself at the juice bar for the whole of the day. Yeah. Playing chess with the lads, game of darts.
Very impressive. As Manchester United go back to the edge of the penalty area. If you were there and want to hear what it sounded like, I was listening on Gold Cup afternoon, and very entertaining. You can go back and have a listen to it all over again on 5 Live via your BBC Sounds app. There was some great stuff in there, and it might make you shed a tear or two as well. Here's Dalot down the right. Dalot playing the ball forward to Mbeumo, and Mbeumo back to Amad Diallo. Now tries to set up Dalot, quick feet from him, but in the end tried to lay it off, and he laid it straight off to Morgan Rodgers. Villa tried to break, Manchester United win it back. Kobbie Mainoo keeps his feet well. Then back to Cunha in front of the D. It's too congested there for Cunha, who then slips over again, and Burmo is able to flick it forward. Cunha then might have stepped on Digne. Still Manchester United. Ahmad Diallo all the way along the edge of the box. Casemiro does well to turn and passes it beyond Bruno Fernandes. And a number of times there, the ball just didn't quite run for Manchester United. And if it had, they could have been in. Here's Diogo Dalot again. Cunha, who's now over on the right-hand side. He's crossing, right-footed towards the back post. Rodgers gets up, gets his head to it. Then it's nodded very well by Bogard. Back to goalkeeper Martinez.
Yeah, I mean, you explained that perfectly, John, I've got to say. There were moments there, if it just bounced to the left, Man United threw in. If it bounced to the right, there was a Villa player there every single time. It was edgy, that little 2-minute period there in Villa's final third. Man United just couldn't get it right. But Villa got numbers back and defended well. Open game, this one, John. Really open.
It is. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. And referee Taylor just stopping play, or just pausing it, because I think Onana took a bang in the middle of all of that. And play is back underway now with Martinez, the goalkeeper, who overarms it out to Digne. So McGinn is back for Villa, but they want to get Tielemans and Camara back into that midfield as well. Ross Barkley starting, but he's done well enough. There's been some nice touches, and he's in space now. Ross Barkley almost entering the veteran stage at 32 years old for a footballer. Here's Buendia back to Onana. Onana just turns away from Bruno Fernandes. Manchester United are back behind the ball, so it's chipped out to Digne on the left. Digne's cross into the near post. Yoro is able to move across and head it out towards this left-hand side. The Villa left, not too far away from where Michael Carrick is standing, with his hands clasped behind his back. Over the two spells as Manchester United manager, Michael Carrick played 11, won 8, drawn 2, lost 1. But this is a test. When Villa won against Manchester United in December, Villa were 10 points ahead of Manchester United. Now level on 51 points. At one stage they were 11 points ahead of Manchester United. Just goes to show what you can do with a run such as the one that they've had, Manchester United under Michael Carrick so far. Manchester United next go to Bournemouth on Friday night football, when there's no European football. Bogard to the right flank. The ball comes in to Buendia on the edge of the box, tried to work it across to Barkley, and Burmo spotted the danger well there. Brian and Burmo coming back, just stepped in and took it away from Barkley, and was able to pass it back to his goalkeeper, and it's cleared away downfield. Still 0-0 here, and likewise still waiting for the first Premier League goal of the afternoon. Liverpool-Tottenham from 4:30. You'll hear that with us on 5 Live. That'll be our 8th football commentary of the weekend. Quite dramatic events at the Chinese Grand Prix this morning. I was listening to that at breakfast time. Checkered Flag podcast for all of the reaction to that. And throughout the evening tonight, live commentary from America, from Indian Wells at the tennis and the Players' Championship golf. Villa coming forward. Buendia gets it back just outside the box against Dalot, drags it back, might find the space, but in comes Kobbie Mainoo. Excellent. He sensed the danger there, and then Ahmad Diallo trying to hit it, I think with the outside of his boot, a la Mo Salah, actually hit it with the wrong part of his boot and kicked it straight out of play above Michael Carrick for a throw-in on the halfway line.
I mean, that's some tackle, by the way. Kobbie Mainoo in there, Buendia is just about to curl that into the far corner. Lommans is left. Kobbie Mainoo goes to ground, makes sure he wins that challenge, and he does really well to quash that attack, and then they come forward, and Ahmad, I mean, it's the right ball, he just gets it all wrong. Yeah. And Boomer made a great run.
Yeah, nice tackle as well by Kobbie Mainoo. Looks really settled again, doesn't he, alongside Casemiro?
And he's very comfortable, doesn't he?
And he's another one of your contenders for Thomas Tuchel's England squad.
Yeah, he is, and why wouldn't he be? Why wouldn't he be? If he just keeps playing, he's going to get fitter and fitter. He's starting to look like he's affecting the game now, whether he's breaking it up or making passes, but now he's got to be in this team now till the end of the season.
Yeah, I think Kobbie Mainoo, obviously Elliot Anderson is very much the man in possession, so Lee Blakeman likely will be sitting watching him, and probably Aaron Paul at Selhurst Park sitting watching Adam Wharton, who's another one I think will be in contention there. Probably not all of them can make the England squad or the England party when it comes to the World Cup, but we'll see.
Yeah, we could have a 45-man squad. That'd get more in. We've got so much quality, though.
Somebody's going to be disappointed too.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be a player that's very, very good. Had a good season as well. And the manager can only pick who he can pick, but I mean, the players that you've mentioned have all got a great shout of getting on that plane.
Yeah, you'll hear that on Friday morning, the latest England squad for the Uruguay and Japan friendlies. So 5 Live Friday morning, we'll be talking to Thomas Tuchel. So that will be on the airwaves and indeed on the Football Daily for you. Here is Ross Barkley, who's just going to turn the ball to Ezri Konsa. He's another one, he'll be in there, won't he? Don't think there's too much doubt about that. Thomas Tuchel likes him, Ezri Konsa. And Bogard now going back to Ezri Konsa, who will allow it to run back towards the edge of his penalty area. For all of the enterprising play that we've seen, probably really just that one Amad Diallo header in the first 32 minutes. Into, you know, when I'm talking about a clear sight and opportunity of breaking the deadlock.
Yeah, it was a tough header with a decent save from Martinez. No pace on the header at all. Great direction from Amad, but didn't really trouble Martinez. And I've not seen the goalkeepers flying around the goal at the moment. There's not had that much to do. The referee's let the game flow, actually.
Which he has there. John McGinn was suggesting that he was fouled by Kobbie Mainoo near the halfway line. Bruno Fernandes curls one, looking for the run of Cunha, headed away by Bogard, but he's headed it to Luke Shaw of Manchester United. And then Cunha will play it back towards Kobbie Mainoo. Bruno Fernandes straight back to Mainoo. Then the Manchester United captain turns it infield to the former captain, Harry Maguire. And Casemiro, leaving United at the end of the season, just gets a little sprint on and is able to pass it here to the right to Diallo. Brighter skies now, it feels, or maybe just the floodlights have come on. Amad Diallo playing it back centrally. Kobbie Mainoo tries to get round, and Nana and almost puts the pass through. In fact, it was intercepted, and then Amad Diallo was onto that in a flash, but Manchester United is still with the ball outside the Villa penalty area, and Casemiro is forced further away. Harry Maguire again turns back onto his right foot. He plays a square pass to Casemiro. Here's the ball into the box now from Casemiro, and at the back post, Bogard allows it to drop onto the top of his knee, where he deflects it behind for a corner beyond the far post.
Yeah, patient play from United, just waiting for that opportune moment when they've got enough red shirts to be able to cross the ball. There were plenty of options there to get the ball in the box. I think Man United, there's a switch on. I mean, you've got Diallo just right in front of us, right in front of the dugouts. He's free as a bird. Get the ball out to him. They'll have plenty of time for him to get the crossing.
Corner then for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes way over there in that far corner between the Sir Alex Ferguson stand and the East stand. Actually takes this short to Amad Diallo. Then Bruno Fernandes back to Cunha, plays it in the area, only half clear, and then Mbeumo slips as he hits the shot, and I'm not sure it's going to go out of play. Amad Diallo actually controls it, pulls it down out of the air. Brian Mbeumo is still having a look at his footwear after that horrendous slip. Then the ball is curled into the back post. Maguire couldn't get there. It's all the way through for a goal kick to Aston Villa. It remains 0-0. More on that from Dion Dublin in a moment. But an opening goal in the Women's League Cup final. Molly Stevens.
And it's Chelsea who have the advantage in this League Cup final. Who else but Lauren James, fresh off a new contract. She's been pressing for this opener since the get-go. A few misses till now, but she doesn't miss this time. From the right, back of the net, easy goal. Lauren James puts Chelsea ahead.
Yes, Lauren James and Reece James with new contracts at Chelsea, as Mings will go back to Martinez, who clears. So Unai Emery with a touch there in his soft, white-soled shoes.
And a soft touch as well.
Yep, soft touch on the soft shoes. Yes. He was a lower league player, really, Unai Emery, but nice touch there. And that last Manchester United attack, Brian Mbeumo needed his soft shoes done, didn't he?
Yeah,
he slipped on the edge of the D.
He did, yeah. I mean, he was coming to him on the edge of the box, and he just took a volley at it, and it ended up being down the left wing, which Amad kept alive, but not like him to get it wrong.
Bruno Fernandes now forward, and Anna in front of him, plays the ball. Casemiro, edge of the box, shoots, but Konsa threw himself in front of it and was able to block it out. Just back in our direction here for a throw-in halfway inside the Aston Villa half. Dalot takes the throw back to Ahmad Diallo, then back on the halfway line. I was reading an interview with Ahmad Diallo in the programme before the match, which I thought was so interesting. The point that he made, he was asked about how you prepare for a match, and he said he actually listens to the Quran rather than listening to music. In the build-up to a match, he listens to the Quran because he said he feels that it gives him energy. I've never heard that before. Here's Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes chipping the ball over the top. Dalot could be in on his left foot, but lifts the shot high over the top of the bar, and it lands halfway up the lower tier of the East Stand. Opportunity, Dalot couldn't take it.
Yeah, and that's what I've been saying. I mean, Dallot's been out here. I mean, Ahmad's done really well, because as he goes in towards Mbeumo, then Digne's going in as well, which leaves loads of space down Manchester United's right. Dallot's free as a bird. He's well onside, and really, he takes it on his right thigh. By the time he takes his touch, he's inside the box, and it bounces lovely on the half volley on his left foot. He's not too far away, you know. It's not a very good finish at all. He should have at least hit the target. Very good chance.
Yeah, and what a pass from Bruno Fernandes. Absolute, the highest quality from Bruno Fernandes. And he probably needed someone like Ahmad or
himself
running onto it. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Sesko only on the bench today, and here's Dalot, couple of step overs, then gets the cross in. Mings is able to adjust and side-foot it away, and then Morgan Rogers. Not seen a great deal of Villa in an attacking sense, and we won't see here either, because Luke Shaw has stepped in against Ollie Watkins, and Manchester United have got it halfway inside their own half.
Yeah, we've been looking to the right a lot in this first half. I mean, Villa have been camped in more or less for the last 15 minutes. Can't get out really with any quality. Man United have probed and probed. No real chances, but Man United are definitely on top, and Villa are having to be really structured, getting in their shape out of possession, making sure that the information that you're passing on to your teammate is right. No big gaps in between the back four as well.
Villa, Unai Emery made just the 3 changes to the starting lineup from Northern France on Thursday night. Thought there maybe would have been 1 or 2 more. However, Unai Emery just pacing as he does, quite impatiently from foot to foot in the technical area. Then for Villa, Rogers from the centre circle helps it on for Watkins. White shirts arriving inside the penalty area. Watkins couldn't get the cross in. Maguire with a challenge. Now it's taken up down the right-hand side. Ball across, deflected, Shaw, and then it rattles behind for what is in the end given as a goal kick. Villa's players on Nana is walking to Anthony Taylor with his hands outstretched, saying surely that's a corner. But the referee, well positioned, Anthony Taylor on the edge of the box, says no, goal kick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Luke Shaw kicked that against his own teammate or he kicked it against Rogers, who was going down the right wing. I mean, Harry Maguire does really well initially, but the ball just comes loose, and might have been a corner, that.
I think he might have played it against Harry Maguire.
As we've seen the replay, he might have played it against Harry Maguire, and it goes out, and the referee says goal kick. So
yeah, and John McGinn was the Villa player who's closest to it. I think he might have fallen awkwardly, perhaps on his hand.
On his hand, yeah, his arm.
Yeah, and I think he's all right.
Very rarely does he stay down.
Yeah. And I know Steve Clarke, Scotland fans have been delighted to see him back. There was a bit of concern when he picked up that injury. We'll need him at the World Cup. He is still feeling his hand. The cheers there from the Villa supporters, by the way, because Yoro couldn't keep the ball in play, so it's a Villa throw. But they've gone back towards the halfway line. Yeah, he's still clenching his hand. John McGinn. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Still 0-0. The ball's played for, but Watkins was in a clear offside position. Watkins, who shoots the goal, kicks it straight at Lamans, and that's going to be a yellow card for Ollie Watkins. Well, he will surely have heard the whistle. That's what Anthony Taylor feels, and he needlessly took it on and therefore delayed the restart.
Why would you do that, Ollie Watkins? Why would you do that? I mean, everybody stops. The goalkeeper as well. He's flying out the goalkeeper, then he stops as well. So everything's telling Ollie Watkins, as well as the whistle, which he did here, because he slows down himself and he just shoots at goal. It's a needless yellow card as well.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing Robin van Persie, I think it was the Nou Camp, sent off for a second yellow card in his Arsenal days for doing exactly that. Be back in the Nou Camp this week, Dion, the new Nou Camp, or Camp Nou, if you prefer. Wednesday night, second leg of Barcelona-Newcastle. Looking forward to seeing what it looks like. And we'll have commentary Tuesday, Wednesday night on the Champions League matches. In actual fact, what we're going to do is Manchester City, Real Madrid is our commentary on Tuesday night. Arsenal, Bayer Leverkusen on Sports Extra. Wednesday night, early start to drive for Barcelona, early finish to drive rather, to bring commentary on Barcelona-Newcastle. Then it'll be Liverpool-Galatasaray. And then, as we mentioned, commentary on Aston Villa-Lille on Thursday evening. Here is come Manchester United. As Bournemouth is beaten to it by Mings. And then Morgan Rogers is able to take the ball away. Quick feet from him. Gives it to Barkley. Villa breaking effectively here. Barkley, then to his left to Watkins. Watkins, in comes the challenge from Yoro. Sliding challenge right across the front of Ollie Watkins. Took everything, took the ball. And now Manchester United are away. Yoro stayed down. He might have been stepped on by Watkins in the middle of all that. But it's now Manchester United, 4 against 4. And Bruno Fernandes goes for goal, but it curls all the way across the diver. Martinez to his left and beyond his left post as well. Goal kick, 0-0.
Yeah, big chances, 8 for Villa. I mean, Kobbie Mainoo made a great chance, and then, I mean, the break from Villa was really quick. Bartley there just flying down the centre of the pitch, waiting for the right run, waiting for the right Villa player to pick out, and he pings it to Ollie Watkins to his left. Ollie Watkins, good first touch, and he chops inside to get on his right foot. But Yoro's made his decision to go to ground, and if you go to ground, you've got to get it right. He got it absolutely spot on. I mean, the Ollie Watkins chance there, I think he should have took it a lot quicker, Ollie Watkins, but Yoro, brilliant challenge.
Yeah. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. That's Dion Dublin with us on 5 Live. England international, Premier League winner, Premier League Golden Boot winner. Watching from just to the right of the director's box. I was having a look before the match. I don't think Sir Jim Ratcliffe is here today.
No, I haven't seen him
either. They tend to sit over the other side of the entrance to the director's box from where we are.
I've seen Peter Schmeichel, I've seen Kasper Schmeichel, just spotted Kasper.
Schmeichel's there,
yeah.
is he?
Gary Pallister.
He's injured, isn't he, at the moment, Kasper
Yes,
Schmeichel?
just over there, back row of the director's box there.
Yeah.
Says hello, John.
Good. Yeah. Well, once, when Peter Schmeichel was working with us, Kasper Schmeichel came along, and I think he was only about 12 years old at the time. So I've known him for a long time. Free kick to Villa, but to Palace, Aaron Paul.
Penalty for Leeds United, missed by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He stepped up right-footed and drilled it wide of Walter Benitez's post. Palace 0, Leeds 0.
Villa take this free kick, and it comes off a Manchester United head behind, in front of the Stretford end for Villa's first corner. So it's still 0-0 in all of these 2 o'clock Premier League kickoffs. And we're going to see the 4th official just stepping forward, Bentona.
A minimum of 1 minute of added time.
There we are, that tells you what you need to know. McGinn is going to take this corner for Aston Villa. The set-piece man, Austin McPhee, is just peering and looking. As in, it comes, and it's cleared away by Luke Shaw under no pressure. And then Manchester United break. Amad Diallo allows the ball to run, then gives it back to Cunha. Cunha now, middle of the Villa half, right foot, it hits Anana in the face as he's able to adjust and deflect it back out. And then Casemiro blasts it forward, it hits Bruno Fernandes. There's nothing you can do about that. Bounced off him by 5 yards.
He's only 10 yards away. Casemiro's tried to break the lines there with pace, but...
Here's another one over the top for Manchester United, looking for Mbeumo, but Villa dealt with that. And then Barkley goes for, and this is for Ollie Watkins to chase. Diagonal pass over the 2 of them, Yoro and Watkins, and that's it. The end of the first half. Anthony Taylor says it was bouncing out towards the wing. So Anthony Taylor says, that's your lot. And frankly, Dion, I think after the first half that we've seen, there's been a lot of energy and industry, but very little in terms of clear goal-scoring opportunities, so it's 0-0.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, both keepers, Martinez down to his right, that's basically it, some last-ditch challenges by both teams. But, yeah, I don't think anybody really deserves to be winning this game at the moment. So, yeah, it's in the balance, but it's lots of energy, lots of good football.
Yep, thank you, Dion. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0 at half-time here at Old Trafford.
I think that sums it up. No further questions. We'll be back with John Murray and Dion Dublin for second half commentary at Old Trafford. Let's check in, shall we, on the Women's League Cup final, which is ongoing at Ashton Gate. Molly Stevens.
Where Chelsea still have the lead by 1-0 from that earlier Lauren James goal. I've got to say, Manchester United started well, but Chelsea are all over them at the moment. Steve, 67% possession, and really it shows their strength across the park. Lauren James has been phenomenal, and you can see why they've won so many titles. Might today be a day where they lift the trophy for another time. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
In the Women's Super League already today, Manchester City drew 0-0 at Aston Villa, so City are 9 points clear at the top, but having played a game more than Manchester United and Chelsea because of that League Cup final. Other scores: Liverpool 2, Leicester 0, London City Lionesses 0, Arsenal 2 and Spurs 1, Everton 2. We heard about that penalty missed at Selhurst Park. Half-time not far away, Aaron Paul.
No, but we've seen an incident involving Jacobior. By the way, it's Crystal Palace 0, Leeds United 0. Yeah, an incident with Jacobior, who is a very, very lucky boy, on a yellow card for a challenge earlier on in the half. We've seen Ismail Assar charging down the left-hand side, and Bior hasn't quite taken him out, but he's leant into him and just spun him a bit, and Ismail Assar's been knocked off the ball. Cue a melee. The Palace fans want a red card, and then Tom Bramall takes his time, decides he's not going to go for a second yellow. Then he books Daniel Farker, and he books one of Oliver Glasner's assistants. It's a peculiar set of circumstances, but the crucial fact is it's Crystal Palace 0, Leeds United 0, Leeds missing a penalty, and crucially with 11 men on the pitch.
No goals anywhere in the Premier League, including at the City Ground. Half-time, Lee Blakeman.
This isn't just 0-0, it's very 0-0. Forest 0, Fulham 0, very few chances in the half. Fulham with the best one, Bassey with a header 6 yards out, well saved by the legs of Sells on the line. Fulham nearly scored direct from a corner as well, right at the end of the half, but it didn't get the touch that was needed at the back post. Forest have seen Anderson shoot wide, Williams shoot over, and Dominguez and Gibbs-White shoot straight at Leno. Half-time, Forest 0, Fulham 0.
In the Scottish Premiership earlier, it finished St Mirren 0, Rangers 1. So Rangers move up to 60 points in third. They are 1 behind Celtic and 3 behind Hearts. Everyone has played 30 games. Let's check in on the Dundee derby at Dens Park. Martin Dowden.
0-0. The better chances have fallen to United. Vico Chevet saw his injury time shot, brilliantly saved by Dundee goalkeeper. Amar Fatah has come close, but no cigar. 3 times Dundee had increasingly generated more and more pressure, but it's United right now deep into injury time in this first half, pushing on, goalless in Dundee.
We'll talk Players' Championship golf, and then we'll make our first trip of the afternoon to Anfield ahead of Liverpool versus Tottenham in full at 4:30 on Premier League Sunday. After the news with Alison Hughes.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. The Energy Secretary Ed Miliband says the UK is considering options to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway, which carries around a fifth of the world's oil supply, has been effectively blocked by Iran, causing energy prices to rise. Israel and the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah have traded more airstrikes today. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Saar dismissed reports that talks are imminent between his government and Lebanon, where Hezbollah are based.
If the Lebanese government and the Lebanese army want to change something, they should do something in order to stop the attacks being done by Hezbollah from Lebanese territory. Until now, they hadn't done anything significant in order to stop it.
Iran's foreign minister has insisted the country's new supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, is in good health and fully in control. Earlier, President Trump suggested he might be dead. Iranian state media says the captain of the country's women's football team has reversed her decision to seek asylum in Australia. If confirmed, it would mean just 2 of the 7 players who stayed there after the Asian Cup now remain. And in other news, West Midlands police investigating the discovery of a man's body in a bin in Coventry are asking people to help identify him. Officers believe the man had been hit by a vehicle. Detectives say he had a tattoo of a cross and a snake on his back with the words Little Stardust, and one on his right arm saying Nan alongside a clover and the colours of the Irish flag.
A group of men ran in with machetes. I'm Livy Haydock, and from BBC Sounds and BBC Radio 5 Live, this is Gangster, the story of Georgie Pye.
The scene of the killing near a Chinese bookshop is being flooded with detectives.
Welcome to the world of the triads.
If the triads are coming out of you, you're done.
Where loyalty is sworn in blood. Gangster, the story of Georgie Pye. Listen first on BBC Sounds.
This is 5 Live Sports with Steve Crossman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Half-time at Dens Park, Dundee 0, Dundee United 0, and half-time at Selhurst, but not before more drama, Aaron.
Yeah, we do. It is half-time at Selhurst, and we have a red card as well. Gabriel Goodmanson with a raking challenge down the back of one of the Palace players' legs, but there was complete surprise and shock for Biol not getting one. But then Goodmanson, it's a really, really poor challenge in the centre circle, and you see Oliver Glasner and Daniel Farker walking off the pitch together, deep in discussion. I think they're baffled at what they've seen over the past 5 or so minutes. Dominic Calvert-Lewin missing a penalty. We saw Biol potentially looking at getting a second yellow. He wasn't awarded that, but then moments later, Goodmanson with the challenge, and Leeds are down to 10 men. Palace 0, Leeds 0.
The Players' Championship Golf concludes this evening in Florida. You can listen on Sports Extra from 5:30. Sweden's Ludvig Åberg has a 3-shot lead at Sawgrass. Let's speak to correspondent Ian Carter and European Tour winner Ollie Wilson. Ian, what a big few hours this is for Åberg.
It really is, and I just wonder how well he slept last night. A 71 yesterday to back up his second round 63, a 3-stroke advantage. On paper, it looks a very healthy position, but it could have been so much better. He was in prime position off the tee on the par 5 16th, had to settle for a par, had a really good look at birdie on the 17th and didn't convert that, and then 3-putted the 18th, and so has let in the chasing pack. Åberg at 13 under par. Michael Thorbjornsen of the United States, his closest rival, at 10 under. He's making his player's debut. And then you've got Cameron Young at 9 under, Matt Fitzpatrick, Brian Harman, Victor Hovland, Justin Thomas and Corey Connors, all at 8 under, as well as Xander Schauffele. So out of that group, you would think someone is going to make a dart and make life somewhat uncomfortable for the 26-year-old Swede.
How did you sleep, Ollie, the night before your 2 big wins on the European Tour? What's the secret?
Well, I wouldn't compare them to trying to win the Players, but it was, he's been around, he's won, he's on the right trajectory. This is just kind of expected. It's obviously a big deal, big day for him. Didn't finish quite how he wanted to, but he's so calm and collected. I don't think he'll be too worried, and I think he'll be excited for the day, so I'm sure he slept just fine.
I suppose the thing is, Ian, it's one of those things whereby if you know, even having the lead, if you go to bed knowing it could have been better, and it could have been better, the psychological impact it could have.
Yes, and it's how you deal with that, and I think that's the difference between humble hackers and professionals who do this for a living. And I think that the pros accept that you have your setbacks as well as your great moments. So it's dealing with that. What I find interesting about Åberg is that he would look exactly the same walking down the fairway if he just shot 63 as he would if he just shot 73, but inside there is a different story. And yes, he's won twice on the PGA Tour, he's won on the European Tour, he's had a remarkable start to his career, but there have been occasions when he's held really commanding leads and he hasn't got the job done. And it's how many seeds of doubt those kind of instances come in to compromise him on what will be a tough golf course today and the biggest day of his career to date as an individual.
Matt Fitzpatrick 5 shots behind then, Ollie. Is he close enough to challenge?
He certainly is around TPC Sawgrass. Here it's never over till you hole out on 18. Those last 3 holes can cause all kinds of havoc on a scorecard, and pretty much every other hole on the card has trouble out there too. So that's what's great about this course. It separates the field. It asks a lot of questions. Very low scores are very achievable, but there's disaster around every corner. So he's just got to get off to a good start, try and apply some pressure, and hopefully for him, Åberg may not get it going and can try and get in the mix down the back 9. But there's a lot of golf to play on this golf course.
Ollie, Ian, thank you very much indeed. European Tour winner Ollie Wilson, correspondent Ian Carter out in Florida. Live coverage of the final round on Sports Extra from 5:30 tonight. No goals in any of our 2 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League. Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Second half commentary on the way on 5 Live. Palace Leeds on Sports Extra 2. Leeds down to 10 and have missed a penalty. Forest Fulham will be on Sports Extra at 4:30. We're all back together for Liverpool against Tottenham Hotspur with Vicky Sparks and Clinton Morrison. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, Crossy.
Hello. This is so big for Tottenham, Vicky. A lot of people thought Igor Tudor wouldn't be there even now. If they lose and lose poorly, surely he won't be there tomorrow.
I think this is the thing for Tottenham, isn't it? And Clinton and I were just talking about this in the press room. There are 2 questions here. One is Igor Tudor the man to keep them up in the Premier League this season? All the evidence so far, not least the debacle against Atletico Madrid, and of course the controversy over the 17-minute substitution of Antonin Kinski. All the evidence so far points to no. But they've already rolled the dice by getting rid of Thomas Frank. To roll the dice again and presumably go back to a manager, whoever it might be, that they, a few weeks ago, didn't consider was the man to get them out of this malaise and to keep them in the Premier League. I think that's the thing. Who do you bring in? I mean, that is a question for maybe later on, for depending on what happens here. But certainly he needs a performance. Tottenham need a performance. But again, Steve, everything just seems so stacked against them. The number of injuries they have coming into this game, the complete loss of confidence, the conversation swirling around the manager who's only been in interim charge for 4 games. Liverpool must be licking their lips and rubbing their hands together for this one.
Clinton, the thing is, if we go with the dice rolling metaphor, if you've rolled a 1, you might as well roll again.
Yeah. Look at Forest. Sorry, Forest have rolled it so many times this season, and they're still in a situation at the moment. So this is their last roll of the dice, I think, for Forest. You know what, Crossy? Thinking about it, and I was just coming up the stairs here, and I think I'm going to make a good point here. You know, in the summer ahead, I think they want Pochettino and they want the deal to be done. And I think America will know that they're going to lose Pochettino. Why not get Pochettino in now? Right now, give him the contract and let him just do the last few games. He can still concentrate on America for the World Cup. But if they're going to go down that route in the summer, get him in now, a top manager, to fix it. And I only just, you know, when you're just walking up the stairs across it, and I just had a thought in my head, why not just bring him in now? Because you're going to bring all these other managers in. No one wants to do it for a short term because everyone knows evidently it might be Pochettino in the summer. So who's going to take the job for 7 or 8 games? And you think to yourself, is it a big risk? I don't think it's a risk because I think the size of that football club, and there is some decent players there, even though I question some of the players' mentalities, there is some decent players. It's just, I don't think the right manager's in there at this moment in time.
Counterpoint would be how much of an impact on Pochettino's World Cup with the USA would be had if they knew he was leaving immediately after to go to Tottenham.
Yeah, you're right. And
I mean, his contract will be up, but nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tottenham fans won't care about that. I'm just thinking from a Tottenham perspective, but I understand what you're saying for the American national team. So it's a difficult one. It was just a thought that I was having, and I think you batted it back my way, and I think you just served the ace. So I'm going to just give up quit while I'm ahead.
No,
and just think. So I'm going to think. No, you know what? I think
legitimate
of someone else.
point. No, it's a totally legitimate point.
It is a really good point, but I'm just thinking. They're banging trouble at the minute, Crossy. I can't see where the next win is coming from with Tottenham. After this, I don't think they'll get anything this afternoon. Then they got Forest.
Yeah.
That's a huge football match. So I think, and I just don't back this manager. I don't have faith in this manager. I watch a lot of football, Crossy. And when he came in, I'm not seeing a lot of what Igor Tudor. It wasn't a name that got me off my seat and said, does he have that Premier League experience? Absolutely zero chance. So I think it's the wrong appointment. And I'm going to make another statement because I'm on fire today. You know what they should have done? Kept Ange. Never have got rid of Ange. I'll say that, and I might drop it and say, have a good afternoon, Crossy.
Vicky, just a quick one on Liverpool, because this is a massive game for them. Like 4 into 5 doesn't... No, 4 into 5 does go. 5 into 4 doesn't go. And someone's going to miss out on the Champions League. They're just outside of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as well, you know, Liverpool, we know the season has been so up and down for them. It looked as though they were building a little bit of momentum, but now 2 defeats in their last 3 games in all competitions, ending that 4-match winning run. And I think huge frustration in the manner that they lost away to Galatasaray in the Champions League last 16, first leg on Tuesday. You know, they actually started the game really well, and then Galatasaray scored, and Arne Slot saying afterwards, look, this has happened too many times this season where we have started a game well, then the opposition has scored, and the momentum hasn't just swung a little bit, as you would expect, it has completely swung. And he basically saying, look, there's no excuse for that. That can't be acceptable for us as Liverpool. So this is a huge opportunity for them today. They know how weak Tottenham are, they know how vulnerable Tottenham are at the moment, and they will be desperate to seize it.
Vicky, thank you very much. Full commentary on the way at 4:30. We're ready to go at Old Trafford. John?
Yes, Manchester United about to kick off. No changes at the break. United still. Lamans in goal. Dalot, Yoro, Maguire and Shaw. Casemiro, Menu, captain Bruno Fernandes, Amad Diallo, Mateus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. Sesko on the bench today. And Villa, been waiting for Brian Mbeumo, who's just actually about to step back into his own half. Last out of the tunnel. Villa with Martinez in goal, Bogard, Konza, Mings and Digne. Then Onana with Ross Barkley and John McGinn, Rodgers, Buendia and Watkins. There is the whistle from Anthony Taylor. Second half begins. It's Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. Also in the other 2 o'clock kickoffs, Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0 and Nottingham Forest 0, Fulham 0. So Manchester United attacking in the second half under lightning skies towards the Stretford end. Ball is played over the top. Amad Diallo gets the crossover in a crucial touch on the edge of the 6-yard box. Took it away. 2 United players were there. Bruno Fernandes turns, passes it to his left. Shaw's first time ball across, and then a falling clearance. Actually fell over backwards. Konza, as he used his right foot to clear it away. Strong start to the second half from Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes on the ball again, passing it to Amad Diallo, 22 yards out, then back to Bruno Fernandes. Little pass into the penalty area. Mings is able to clear it. Aston Villa pegged back. In comes the cross from Dalot, outside of his right foot. That's headed away by Onana. Superbly dealt with by Menu, who pulled that down, controlled it in a tight area against Buendia. Now Bruno Fernandes again. This is over towards the Manchester United right. Menu crosses, took a deflection, and it bounced into the path of Mings, who was able to clear it away. High tempo start. Dion Dublin to the second half from the home side.
Yeah, I mean, Man United have come out flying and they've had 3 or 4 crosses in the box. It's been just nudged away by Konza. 2 red shirts waiting, you mentioned that one, and then Dalot and Meno down the right hand side. Man United have come out with intent here, really moving the ball a lot quicker for that first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's got the look of words from whoever in the dressing room saying, let's go out and really impose ourselves on Manchester United.
Yeah, not quite a hairdryer, but
yeah,
you know.
No, those days are distant past. Here's Luke Shaw, Manchester United, who actually have scored in every match that they've played since November as Manchester United. Have it with Mbeumo. Amad Diallo shoots from the angle, but over the top of the bar by a couple of yards, and the ball bubbling around in the Stretford end. So Manchester United 0, Aston Villa 0. It is half-time now at Ashton Gate in the Women's League Cup final. Molly Stevens.
Where Chelsea have one hand on their 4th League Cup trophy, and it's thanks to their star woman Lauren James, fresh off a new contract. She repays the club by capitalising on an error by United's centre-half Dominique Janssen. She tried to play a back pass to her keeper, but it was loose. James showed composure to tuck it away against her old club. Elizabeth Turland has had the best chances for United. 3 wide, 1 saved. She's close, but for now it's Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
Manchester United, Casemiro plays the ball into the referee, Anthony Taylor, so we'll have the drop ball in the centre circle, and that will give us a chance to drop in again at the City Ground. Lee Blakeman.
Forest 0, Fulham 0. Some early drama in the second half. Forest have been given a penalty for a foul on Ndoye, but the offside flag went up to rule it all out. So it's still Forest 0, Fulham 0.
Still Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0. Goodmanson sent off before half-time. Dundee 0, Dundee United 0 in the 2 o'clock kick-off after Rangers' 1-0 win earlier at St Mirren. Yoro as Manchester United. Red shirts, white shorts, black socks here at Old Trafford. Walking the ball to the halfway line now with Maguire. Hits a long pass. Cunha chests it down, but Bogard is tight on him and is able to get himself in between the Manchester United man and the ball. And Villa are able to bring it away. Rodgers feels he was fouled. No whistle from Anthony Taylor. Cunha up to Mbeumo. He went down under the challenge of Onana. That's not a free kick either. Anthony Taylor, but let them both go, Deal.
Yeah, he couldn't actually give that one there, and Mbeumo didn't give Villa the free kick, so he thought I better even this out.
Yeah, as Casemiro the flick. Back to Casemiro again. In comes the challenge on him, and then as he falls, the ball is cleared away on the edge of the D and out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United by Ross Barkley, who was one of the surprise selections for this match for Aston Villa. First Premier League start for 14 months as Villa looked to break away, but Harry Maguire was there to tidy it up.
I think that just sums up Harry Maguire. I mean, he's got Watkins and McGinn running at him, and he just finds himself in the correct position. He's got 2 against 1. He gets to the ball first, clears the danger, slows things down. I mean, I don't know how he gets so much stick, because what he's done through his career for United, for any club he's played for, and England, outstanding.
Yeah, Michael Carrick was asked about the chances of Maguire being in the England squad this coming week. He started the last 9 matches now for Manchester United as Bruno Fernandes, a no-look pass to Amad Diallo. Back to Bruno Fernandes, shoots, took a deflection from just a few yards away from where he hit the shot, which carried the ball up and over the top of the crossbar for a Manchester United corner.
Yeah, he's trying to find that top left-hand corner as he looks at the goal there. Takes a deflection, but we could see exactly what he wanted to do there. Well blocked, though, by Dino, I think it was.
Getting a great ovation, the United captain, as he trots into the corner there. It's his 319th appearance for Manchester United in all competitions. Next to the tunnel, Bruno Fernandes into the back post. Good header away by Mings under pressure. Comes out, though. Cunha hits the shot, but trying to find a way through the crowd, actually dragged it wide. And it's low fives and high fives all around from the Villa defenders, Dion.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Cunha there he had to take it quickly because John McGinn's flying at him. He gets it on his chest, it bounces in front of him. He tries to hit on the half volley, but because he's rushing it, sort of skews it to the left of the goal as he is looking, so didn't quite get that one right.
So still 0-0 all round in the Premier League. We heard from Vicky Sparks and Clinton Morrison at half-time at Anfield. I don't think that one will be 0-0. However, life's full of surprises. And here's Morgan Rodgers carrying the ball forward from the centre circle. And as the challenge comes in on him from Cunha, the ball runs to Bruno Fernandes, who is now off and running himself and giving it to his left to Mbeumo, who shoots. Martinez diving to his left, made the save, parried it wide of goal, and then it was put behind by Digne. Corner Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes whipping up the crowd.
Yeah, I just think Villa just a little bit loose in midfield there. I think it was Rodgers just taking too long in the middle of the park, and as he takes too long to make his decision on who he's going to pass the ball to, he gets nicked off him, and then Bruno's away with Mbeumo in his sights as well. It's a good actual save actually from Martinez.
Unai Emery walks all the way to one side of his technical area, stops, then walks back to the other. Corner, Bruno Fernandes to take this into the near post. Casemiro, it's in! It's 1-0 Manchester United, and the veteran Brazilian was able to leap high at the near post, a little glance which took it beyond Martinez and in, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United, and Casemiro has scored his 7th goal of the season. Excellent, so deft.
You know what they say, he can't get about the pitch and his legs have gone. The knowledge of the footballer, the skill, the way he executes things as well. The ball, it's just an incredible header. I used to love the ball dropping into those areas. It's about 3 yards ahead of the near post. He's about 3 yards away from the touchline, and he just puts enough on it with the right direction to fall into that far corner. It's such a difficult skill that he's made look so easy. An incredible header by Casemiro.
Oh, that's gone down incredibly well. What a clever header that was. And he's the leap for a start. He's got 3 Villa players around him. He's timed it brilliantly, and we have to give Bruno Fernandes credit as well for the delivery. But to be able to find the goal from there with a header is some feat.
It is. It's an outswinging cross as well, which makes the header a little bit easier because the ball's spinning in the way you want it to spin. But to execute that header with such, I don't know, accuracy is just amazing.
Manchester United have scored 1-0 straight to the Dundee derby. Martin Dowden.
We have a penalty kick, and it is for Dundee United, and it's a goal. The visitors are ahead. It's Emmanuel Ajay who strikes early in the second half. 5 minutes into it, Dundee 0, Dundee United 1.
1-0 to Manchester United here. The Casemiro header just a few moments ago from the corner. So another goal from a corner. And actually 2 goals in 2 matches now for Casemiro, having scored in Manchester United's last match. They defeated St James's Park 11 days ago. And he is leaving at the end of the season. And as I say, Dion, 34 years old. You know, his time here has probably come to an end. But he's having quite a finale now for them.
Yeah, he is. He is, and, you know, the footballing brain that he has is... It's great to watch him play football, it really is.
Villa playing the ball into the penalty area, and Nana heads it across the box. No one there in a creamy white Villa shirt. And the ball eventually cleared away from the full-back position by Cunha. Villa trying to respond to the Manchester United opening goal. And Nana across. McGinn tried to pull it down, but it ran away from him. Just like the crucial goal. Given away by Amad Diallo to Anana. Now Rodgers challenged by Casemiro. Might have been fouled. The ball runs through, and the free kick is given. Anthony Taylor had to think about that and has brought it back for the free kick to Villa, 22 yards out.
Yeah, I mean, Casemiro on Rodgers there. I don't know, 5 yards, maybe 6 yards outside the box. Right central it is. Casemiro commits. Does get a bit of Rodgers. Rodgers is off balance. He stays on his feet and he tries a little through ball with his heel. Doesn't go to anybody. Then the referee gives the free kick. No advantage at all. I know that we've seen Barkley's hit these before. Barkley has hit these before from 25 yards. Dini's over it as well. I think Buendia's there. It's not a bad trio over the ball, by the way. 25 yards out.
Yeah, good position this. As against all expectations, the sun comes brightly out on Old Trafford, and actually blue sky suddenly appears above the stadium with that Manchester United goal for the United supporters inside the ground. Suddenly the world seems a brighter place. But it is Buendia standing to the left of the ball. He looks more likely as Manchester United Villa are going to make a couple of changes whatever happens here. Digne standing, it is going to Buendia, hits the top of the wall, the ball deflects up and wide, wall does its job, and there are little low fives between the Manchester United players who were in the defensive wall, and a couple of body bumps as well. Casemiro is in the middle of all that, and it's a corner as a result to Villa. Digne is going to take this, so a left-footed out swinger. Leon Bailey's going to come on. Corner for Digne, and it's headed away for Manchester United by Maguire. That is taken down by Bogart. Konsa was looking to cross back onto his left foot. Konsa then with a long pass that spins out towards the far side, played into the box by Digne, cleared away by Yoro, and Manchester United have survived that period of pressure. And yes, Unai Emery is going to bring on Tammy Abraham and Leon Bailey. And Ollie Watkins really has not had much joy at all out there. He's very much been the lone striker, and for most of the match, Villa have been on the back foot.
Yeah, is he trying to give Ollie a breather? Is he going to go 2 up top? I'd love to see those two play together. I'd love that to work for Villa, because I think it could be pretty potent, but to put 2 forwards on, a bit of a risk, a bit of a gamble.
1-0 to Manchester United. Casemiro's goal. 7 goals. 7 goals in the Premier League as well as Villa. A challenge on Rodgers, middle of the half, as Rodgers surged infield, sort of sandwich between Menu and Casemiro, who arrived, and I think it's Casemiro who's got the most meaningful contact on Morgan Rodgers, who the two of them have stayed down, still not got to their feet. Free kick to Villa when play resumes. In fact, while they're down. Let's go back to Forest and get an update from Lee Blakeman.
What a chance for Forest. Good through ball down the centre, found Aina, edge of the area, caught it brilliantly with his left foot, and it crashed off the crossbar. Still Forest 0, Fulham 0, but Forest going close.
No sign of this Villa free kick just yet, so an update from Selhurst Park as well. Aaron Paul.
To Palace 0, 10-man Leeds United 0. Daniel Farke has brought on defensive reinforcements. Jayden Bogle and Ilya Gruev both on, but Jakub Biol remains in place. Been a flat start to the second half. Palace 0, Leeds 0.
So Villa organising themselves now. Neither Rodgers nor Casemiro needed treatment, so there's Villa free kick. There's still Bruno Fernandes is still on the scene and is chatting with Anthony Taylor. And the Villa changes are going to come, but not yet. John McGinn and Morgan Rodgers. Actually, the two of them are looking over their shoulders, probably to Austin McPhee, who's sending details out for the free kick. So the instructions are being given. Rodgers runs over it. McGinn, left-footed, curls it into the box, and the header up and over and wide from Tyrone Mings it was, who actually did well to get some sort of contact on that, pirouetting, throwing his ball, throwing his body spinning in the air, but he couldn't direct it on top.
Yeah, it's a tough one, that, because it's swinging, it's sort of from John McGinn, it's an in-swing, it's going towards the far post, and McGinn kind of gets ahead of the ball, and he can't really direct it when you're ahead of the ball. Which side do you head it? How much power do you put on it? You lose your bearings. You got that wrong. Tyrone Mings, Ollie Watkins off, John McGinn off.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins replaced by Tammy Abraham, who comes on for his 9th appearance since returning to Aston Villa, and John McGinn, who, as I said, Dion, first start since January.
Yeah. Looking after legs, maybe looking after his legs. You need to keep the captain fit and healthy. If it means that he's got to play 60 minutes, bang on 60 minutes. Then look after him for the rest of the season. Villa are going to need him. He's very important.
Yeah, Villa, who have that second leg against Lille at Villa Park. 5 Live, the place to listen to that. Then they return to West Ham next weekend, as Konza might have been fouled by Amagello, but in any case got the pass all the way back to goalkeeper Martinez. So Manchester United leading through the Casemiro goal, and on course for what would be wins in his first 6 home matches as the Manchester United manager for Michael Carrick. And no one's done that since Franco Farrell back in the early 70s. He was the man who replaced Matt Busby. So Matt Busby, the great Matt Busby, and then made a roaring start, Franco Farrell, but then things went rather downhill, and after 18 months he was sacked. There were all sorts of things going on in that period post Matt Busby. Casemiro playing it over there, Gallo with a header, couldn't get any contact on it really, just headed it up in the air, and Martinez was able to step back and catch it as it dropped into his gloves.
I mean, the ball back is perfect for Casemiro, and Casemiro sees out the corner of his eye Dalot, who's made a great forward run in between the left back and centre half, and pops it on a little sixpence for him, but Dalot just loses his bearings, and he just needed to head it over the keeper. He misheads it, it hits his shoulder.
And therefore, an easy take. Manchester United winning 1-0. Dion, with Casemiro, as I said, it's been announced weeks ago that this contract, this famous contract, he was given the 4-year deal when he moved from Real Madrid. Well, that's it, he's off, he's leaving at the end of the season. You know what the talk will be, won't it? Whether after this season, when he has been excellent, particularly under Michael Carrick alongside Kobbie Mainoo in this system, and 7 goals as well from that position, do they have another think about that, or do they decide, they've got the best part from it? Buendia running forward for Villa into the penalty area for Abraham, who actually took it a little wider, but then the cross from Digne, and then a little glance from Bailey, and then Onana tries to bring it down, 2 players in, Onana with a shot, and Lamens has to make the save. His first of the match for the Manchester United goalkeeper to help it up and over the top of the crossbar.
Yeah, did enough though. Did enough. The keeper just gets it to safety. I mean, Onana on the far post there, just bounces in front of him. He tries to get it down and comfortable as quick as possible. Then he's got Shaw and he's got Casemiro and he's got Bruno's really just closing him down. Keep it as well. Keep it as well.
Corner to Villa then, as a result of that. The shot was above his head, really, for Lamens, who made what, for a goalkeeper of this standard, as a routine save, just pushing it up and over the top of the crossbar. So a corner with Manchester United 1-0 up, and the corner taken in by Bailey, Cleared to the edge of the penalty area. Amad Diallo got the touch, shouts for handball, hit Mings inside the box. Then Bailey, left-footed cross. That's headed down and away by Shaw. Comes out, Dina with a shot across the goal. Chance, Barkley! Left foot! It's 1-1! And Ross Barkley, starting in the Premier League for the first time for 14 months, scores at Old Trafford to bring it level, and how he enjoys that one. He slides away on the seat of his pants, raises his fist to the Villa fans in the corner. 1-1.
And you've got to say, for that little period of play there, lots of chances, half chances. Onana at the far post, good save from Lummans there. Corner comes in, cleared, it goes down the left-hand side. Digne, who's done it all game, Digne just seems to put the ball in good areas, finds him at the far post there. The ball's on the floor, and I think he just sorts his feet out, Barkley there, and just steers it past Lummans, left of the goal as he looks, keeper's right, on the floor, cultured finish, never panicked at all.
And while Barkley scored here at Old Trafford, Lee Blakeman.
Forest have been scoring here. Dan and Doy making it Forest 1, Fulham 0. Williams with the ball over the top, and Doy through on goal, right foot, side foot finish, really good. It is being checked for offside, but at the moment it's Forest 1, Fulham 0.
And the Barkley goal is being checked for offside as well, because he swept it left-footed from, 10-12 yards, and Amadou Onana was standing, well, he's had to pull his body out of the line of the shot, and the question will be, and he was in an offside position, the question is whether he was intervening with play or not.
Well, we've got it on our screen here. I mean, the keeper's eye line is as clear as day. I think the keeper can see this, no problem at all. I think this will be okay. Yes, he is in an offside position, however, the ball goes in cleanly, the keeper can see the strike, the keeper can see the ball leave Barkley's left foot and fly past him. I'll be very surprised if this is disallowed.
Well, Jared Gillett's still looking after it. What about at Forest with you, Lee?
This one has been disallowed. Dan and Doy offside. It was tight, it was very tight, so it's back to Forest 0, Fulham 0.
So 0-0 there, still Crystal Palace 0, Leeds 0, Leeds down to 10 men. And this is a long check. And this comes back to how forensic do you want it to be? The goal is given, and it is 1-1, and it's the Villa fans in the corner you can hear, and Ross Barkley has got that goal, his second of this season, and it's Manchester United 1, Aston Villa 1.
Yeah, you can't disallow that goal. Yes, Onana's in an offside position by a yard, clearly, however, the strike is good, he's not in the eye line of the keeper, you cannot disallow that. Well done, officials. I've not said that for a long time, to be honest with you, but well done, officials.
Yeah, I think you're right, Dion, but I could also see why they were thinking of overturning it as well. And the question would have been as well, Onana was adjusting his body and getting his body out of the way, whether it took the tiniest glance off him, but I think then you are moving into the forensic area. So it's 1-1, and Manchester United's lead lasted for 12 minutes, and Villa, who haven't had too much go their way recently, well, the Manchester United supporters now trying to match the noise that's coming out of the Villa section in the corner, and that has added to the feel inside the ground. Still Dundee 0, Dundee United 0. Commentary on Liverpool-Tottenham to come from 4:30 as Morgan Rogers wins the ball back from Casemiro, carries it forward, gives it to his right to Bailey. Bailey pulls it across, bounces away from Abraham, just outside the 6-yard box. Couldn't get it under control, and in the end it's behind. And Tammy Abraham, hands on head.
That's the kind of chance that Tammy Abraham would have wanted when he was sat on the bench waiting to come on. It's a lovely little ball from Bailey. Everybody thinks Bailey's going to come onto his left foot. He doesn't. He goes on the outside of Luke Shaw, chops it back. He just misses Dallo, and it sort of sits at Tammy Abraham's right thigh, and he just can't sort his feet out. That's a good chance for a player as good as Tammy Abraham.
And Dallo said, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And was able to play it out off Abraham. Rogers again. Villa have got their tails up here after the equaliser. But Manchester United are able to clear it away on the edge of their own box. This is a very good response from Aston Villa to going behind. And here they come again after another very good tackle. Mings on the halfway line. Buendia not able to find the pass through to Rodgers. And now Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes out there on the right-hand side. Forward to Amad Diallo. I suspect maybe Michael Carrick will be thinking of making a change, just the way the momentum of the match has changed.
Buendia, yellow card.
So yellow card for Buendia.
Dissent, I think.
Something is
John, dissent for the referee, arm gesture.
Okay.
The referee not happy at all.
Right, let's get the team news from Anfield from Vicky Sparks.
Big calls by Arne Slot. Salah and Ekitike benched. A first Premier League start for 17-year-old Rio Ngumoa, with Alisson back from a knock. 5 changes in all from the Galatasaray defeat. Kanate, Kirkes and Mamadashvili also drop out. Robertson, Frimpong, Gakpo come in. 19-year-old left-back Sousa starts in one of 4 Tottenham changes from the humiliation at Atletico. Solanke, Dragusin, Vicario back in. Kinski and Kolomoani dropped to the bench. Van der Ven suspended. Ramirez out injured. Tottenham can only name 7 subs.
Thank you very much, Vicky. So commentary from Anfield, Clinton Morrison alongside Vicky for that. Interesting call, and Ngumoa starting. I think a lot of Liverpool fans will actually approve of that.
Yeah, they'll welcome that, won't they?
Here,
exciting.
Bruno Fernandes winning the ball back, giving it to Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo, a little hand in his back on the edge of the penalty area. Referee says no. Still Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes. Oh, and Burmo. Crucial interception from Mings. Then excellent play from Rodgers on the edge of his home box. I'm not sure how he got out of that, Morgan Rodgers, as the challengers came flying in. Villa forward with the substitute, Leon Bailey. Rodgers is there, but Bailey's pass doesn't find him. And Euro's able to step forward, and now Manchester United come again. Unai Emery. If he carries on like that, he's going to do himself a mischief. Bruno Fernandes through to Cunha. Cunha makes it 2-1. Brilliant pass from Bruno Fernandes through the inside left challenge, and Cunha ran onto it and placed it beyond the dive of Martinez, and Manchester United back in front 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, Villa players were actually disappointed at the way they attacked there. Bailey making the wrong decisions. Unai Emery, as we mentioned, losing his head because they weren't patient. But Bruno Fernandes, as sharp as you like, gets the ball, and it's a lovely run from Cunha. It's in behind Konza, in between him and Tyrone Mings. Konza loses him for a split second. The ball's ahead of him. There he goes, Cunha. We know how he finishes. He's going in down the left-hand side of the D, and he just strokes it past the keeper. Martinez, no chance. The man on the end of that pass, you wanted it to be Cunha. Lovely little ball, lovely ball.
And the finish as well. And not only that, the finish and the reaction from Cunha as he put it into the net in front of the Stretford end. Just got to his feet. He actually slipped over onto his backside, then stood up. And his reaction to the Stretford end was almost as if to say, well, what did you expect?
I mean,
did you expect me to miss?
It's just so confident, John. So confident. I mean, the ball from Casemiro to Bruno. Bruno's about 5 yards away from Michael Carrick, his manager. He just rolls it to him, Casemiro, on his right foot. As soon as that ball goes towards Bruno, Cunha is on his way. They all were on the same page.
Cunha scored in a losing effort at Villa Park against Aston Villa in December. He might have scored in a winning effort here, but Villa have already come back once, and they're on the ball now in the centre of the field. Back to Dundee, Martin Dowden.
It's Dundee 0, Dundee United 2. Lucas Stevenson with a second, and United firmly in control now. Amar Fata earlier with a cool penalty after Dundee captain Simon Murray was just to handle. I've seen that one back now and have to say it's very controversial. Dundee will be furious about that, but United in control.
And I think Benjamin Sesko is now being prepared by Michael Carrick. His team back in front. And Unai Emery, Dion, we were talking about it just before the goal, was absolutely furious with the way that the Villa attack broke down before Manchester United swept down the other end and scored. And he is fuming down there. The body language, arms being thrown up. Somebody's going to get it post-match.
Yeah, I mean, they were actually breaking quickly, and Bailey just made the wrong decision. when to pass it, who to pass it to, and he just completely give it away to Man United. They were in.
Steve Holland standing alongside Michael Carrick. Benjamin Sesko steps forward. Johnny Evans is there as well on the side of the pitch, long and forward from Manchester United. But here we go. And as we were discussing pre-match, I think Julien Laurent was saying it earlier on Five Live's Premier League Sunday. You know, Sesko left out today, despite the run that he's in. 3 goals in his last 4 matches, scored 7 in the last 9 appearances. The thing is, he proved himself to be very effective coming on as a substitute before he was actually placed into the starting lineup by Michael Carrick.
Absolutely, and Michael's probably thinking to himself, well, you are going to get some minutes today, but we might need you as a bit of a surprise package, whether we're winning or we're not winning. 15 minutes to go in this game, plus your stoppages as well. But I mean, he's been stood there now in the technical area for the last 2 minutes maybe, getting orders from the manager and his staff as well. So he's nodding, he's listening, hands on hips.
And we're waiting as the ball bounces out of play for the number to go up. You would suspect it would be Amad Diallo, the number 16. It's Mbeumo who's coming off. So straight swap. Mbeumo, who was playing furthest forward, and while they make the change and Sesko comes on, back to Selhurst Park. Aaron Paul.
Crystal Palace 0, 10-man leads 0. Jean-Philippe Mateta is on for his first Premier League appearance since the back end of January. Some boos lingered around Selhurst Park, and he's come closest to breaking the deadlock, forcing Carl Darlow into a really good save up to his left. Palace 0, 10-man leads now.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. Mateta, who came on as a substitute on Thursday night in the Conference League, now back in the Premier League, and in Nottingham with you, Lee Blakeman.
It's still Forest 0, Fulham 0, but Forest fans not happy because Hutchinson has just gone through on goal. He's been pulled down by Anderson, just a yellow shown to him by referee Sam Barrett. So Forest with a free kick, 20 yards out. Forest 0, Fulham 0.
2 on Manchester United. Cunha playing it to the edge of the penalty area, but straight into the path of Mings. And then Buendia in a tight situation. Mings as well is clipped by Bruno Fernandes, and that's a free kick to Aston Villa. Manchester United man, I think it's Cunha down on the edge of the box as well, so we'll have a little stoppage. If you have just joined us, there is a choice of listening right now. That Nottingham Forest Fulham match is on Sports Extra right now. Tom Gale and Mark Albrighton with the commentary on Sports Extra. Crystal Palace Leeds is on Sports Extra 2 on your BBC Sounds app. Chris Wise and Mark Schwartz are there. And the Women's League Cup final is on Sports Extra 3, where Chelsea lead Manchester United by 1-0. Manchester United supporters on their feet, while Mbeumo, who left the field on the far side, has walked all the way around. It's the way to do it, Dion, isn't it? Walked all the way around the pitch in front of the Stretford end, and then all the way back in front of the Bobby Charlton stand here into the dugout.
Yes, that's the one. Milk it as much as you possibly can.
I feel like Elvis Presley. Well, he's taken his seat now in the dugout. On the subject of light entertainment, Dion, just while Cunha is being sorted out, we must send our support to Greg James.
Oh yes,
the king of Radio 1 is doing one of these comic relief challenges over the course of this week or so. He's in the middle of a 1,000-kilometre bike ride, and I think he's heading for Birmingham today, out of Wales into Birmingham. So if you can, do send him your support, and if you're out on the streets, give him a wave. So good luck to Greg. Manchester United 2, Aston Villa 1. Back it comes to the centre circle, to Konza. Sun has just disappeared for the time being. Very much the early spring afternoon here in Manchester. Torrential rain before the match, but daffodils out, as they were in Madrid this week as well, the daffodils, when we were there. Here is Bogard for Bailey. Bailey now against Shaw. Bailey back to Onana, 25 yards out. Konza, Villa trying to come from a goal down for the second time in the match. Otherwise, Villa will be facing 3 defeats in a row in the Premier League. And Villa with Bogard, this possession inside the Manchester United half. Unai Emery steps out of his technical area to the right. I was reading in the newspaper yesterday, Jamie Carragher suggesting that Unai Emery should be on Manchester United's radar for their next manager. Here's Bailey down the right. Manchester United have got 2 men on him. Back to Bogard again, and Onana. Now the ball through to Bailey. Then Rodgers chips it over the top, and he's got too much on that, and it's all the way through for a goal kick. And Harry Maguire claps his hands in the middle of the penalty area. And Manchester United on the way to what would be 7 wins out of 9 under Michael Carrick, and they would put a little bit of distance between themselves and Chelsea in 5th place after their defeat yesterday. Let's head back to Ashton Gate to the Women's League Cup final. Molly Stevens.
Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0 it remains, John. 64 minutes on the clock. The United keeper has had yet another save to make, Fallon Tullis-Joyce, saving a goal-bound Aggie Beaver-Jones shot. She's come off the bench and she has been electric up front. Chelsea 1, Manchester United 0.
Listen to that, Sports Extra 3, or watch it on BBC One. 2-1 to Manchester United. The other thing, Dion, 2 more assists from Bruno Fernandes, who took the corner that was headed in by Casemiro and played the brilliant pass through for Cunha to finish.
He's always got something to do with it, hasn't he?
And here he is, Bruno Fernandes, back towards the halfway line. Villa going to make another couple of changes. It's the pass out to Cunha, who gets the better of Bogard, and then into the area. Cunha's ball across, takes a double deflection across the area. Shot all from Sesko, it's deflected in. It's 3-1 Manchester United, and it's Sesko again, leaping away to his left, punching the air in front of the Stretford end. He's reached double figures now for Manchester United. That's his 10th goal, and even though he's back on the bench today, 4 goals in his last 5 appearances, 8 in his last 10. He is bang in form, and Manchester United, it seems, on the way to victory.
Michael Carrick's got it right yet again. He's dropped him, or he's rested him, whatever you want to call it, but he's come on again and he's made a difference. He's got himself another goal. It was a lovely little natural finish for a centre forward. It just bobbles in from the right hand side off a few knees. He's about 8 yards out. He's got his back to goal. He's got 2 white shirts bearing down on him, but he just turns with pace. He smacks it in, hits the ground, bobbles off a white shirt. Is there a Man United player in an offside position in front of the goalkeeper? That's what they'll be looking at right now.
Here's the question, dear. It hit Tyrone Mings and evaded Dalot. You know, I think they'll probably allow that one as well.
I agree with you. I think it's a lovely turn from Sesko. I mean, we've got screen in front of us here. Sesko's face is amazing. We've got Michael Carrick here on our screens as well, punching the air, doing a little dance, looking back at his bench as if to say, yes, it worked again. I can't see any problem with that goal at all.
Well, it's still not had the restart. Matson and Douglas Luiz are the latest players on for Ross Barkley and Luca Digne. And there's the restart. That confirms it. Sesko's goal stands. It's Manchester United 3, Aston Villa 1. And at 2-1, maybe a Villa comeback. But at 3-1, this is going to be very difficult, particularly since we are now in the 83rd minute of the match. However, Bailey attacks down the right and wins a corner for Aston Villa. So Matson on at left back, Douglas Luiz, the on loan Douglas Luiz from Juventus into midfield. And the corner to be taken by the newly arrived Douglas Luiz from the right, down in front of the Villa fans, who are quietened after that latest goal. Deep one, headed across the goal by Maguire, and then volleyed away by Bruno Fernandes. And in the centre circle, this is going to have to be dealt with by Bogard and Rodgers, and it is. And Rodgers' pass, that's asked a lot of Abraham. It will bounce all the way through to goalkeeper Lamans out of his penalty area, who drops forward. But the Sesko goal, when it rattled across the penalty area, fell to him, hit the shot. It flicked off the leg of Mings, which carried it into the top corner, but it was on target from Sesko. It's his goal. Yeah,
I think it might have found its way in. It had a bit of power on it as well. The deflection, it kicked into the ground. It didn't make all the difference. However, when you're in a purple patch as a centre forward, everything you seem to touch seems to find the back of the net or hits the target. And I think because he's worked so hard, he's getting all the rewards that he deserves now.
As Bailey wins the free kick, Luke Shaw just a little heavy with the challenge there. He's holding the base of his, the right base of his back, Bailey, but he's all right, back on his feet. And yes, Cunha as well for his work, the way that he beat Bogard in the full-back position and helped to set up the goal. That deserves a mention too. But Bruno Fernandes for setting up the first 2 goals. That means that for the Manchester United captain is 16 Premier League assists this season. And now he sent Sesko off into the area. Sesko passes it all the way across the face of goal beyond Amad Diallo. He could have gone for goal there, Dion, surely. But
yeah,
he did neither.
No, he didn't. Yeah, it's a really poor effort from Sesko. I think he's, you know what? I think he's. Well, I don't know what he's thinking, to be honest with you, because that's a shot at the far post, or is he trying to pass it over to?
Yeah.
Is it Ahmad or Kobe who coming at the far post?
Yeah,
Ahmad there.
Yeah.
I think he's shooting. And
Sure.
I don't know.
I hope not.
If the goal moved, I'm not sure where he's shooting. But yeah, he's in such confident form. He feels he can find the far post from 25 yards on the ground with a pass finish on the floor. But he got it wrong. He got it wrong.
Yeah,
he's allowed to.
Well, he is. As John Arlott once said many years ago, that there from Sesko was neither one thing nor the other. And 3-1 Manchester United lead, and we're going to see Andres Garcia as the next Villa substitute, and that will be their 5th. We've got a stoppage because Emi Buendia is down receiving some treatment, and Manchester United leading by 3-1. The TV cameras have picked out a young glum-faced, actually, Manchester United fan, or maybe he's a Villa fan, and it says, sorry, it says on the placard, sorry, Mum, I'm at my first Manchester United match, even though it's Mother's Day.
Brilliant.
So that's great by the TV camera people picking that one out. So 3-1, still got the stoppage. Andres Garcia is coming on for Emi Buendia. Were we going to Selhurst Park or to Forest? It's Selhurst Park. Aaron Paul.
Palace 0, 10-man leads. Now Palace have had the ball in the back of the net. It's been ruled out for offside. Jefferson Lerma with a header from the corner. Initial save from Carl Darlow is magnificent. Tipping it onto the crossbar. Lerma gets a second by, buries it. He was offside after a VAR check. Palace 0, 10-man leads now.
And we will go to Nottingham Forest. Lee Blakeman.
Where Fulham are piling on the pressure late on. Forest 0, Fulham 0. Fulham's second corner in quick succession just before these. Chukwueze into the area left side, sent in across. Iwobi inside the 6 yards area, couldn't direct it goalwards. Nervy times at the City ground. Forest 0, Fulham 0.
Still Dundee 0, Dundee United 2 after Rangers won earlier. The weekend review will be on the BBC Sounds app later if you search for Football Daily. Also on 5 Live tonight at 8:30, rounding everything up, even though there is Brentford Wolves tomorrow night, which you'll hear news of during 5 Live's Monday Night Club, when actually Russell Martin is going to be on the programme tomorrow night with Mark Chapman and co. Manchester United breaking foot, Amad Diallo misplaced the pass, and Michael Carrick now, you don't often see him react like that. You know, there was a flash of anger from him in the way that Amad Diallo wasn't able to find the pass there, and Manchester United are going to make another change when they get the opportunity, and it is going to be Ugarte coming on into the midfield, the Uruguayan. Douglas Luiz for Aston Villa, but I think the game's gone now, Dion, for your former club against your former club.
Been a tough one.
It has.
For Villa.
Garcia down the right is able to win a corner, though, off Cunha. So a corner from the right. Douglas Luiz comes across to take.
I think
2 minutes to go.
I think Michael Carrick was angry not with the pass but the reaction.
Oh, get it. Yeah, corner's taken short. Now again, Douglas Luiz with the cross that comes off Casemiro, who's able to close down the attempted centre from his fellow Brazilian. So second consecutive Villa corner. Douglas Luiz to take, and and he actually finds Bogard free, who's able to cross it in, headed back across goal by Bailey, but an easy one for Lamans to fall forward and catch the Manchester United goalkeeper.
I mean, it's an awful cross from Bogard, by the way. He's on the corner of the box, and he hits the, nearly goes beyond the 6-yard box, far side of the goal. He's got no chance of getting any chance on goal or effort on goal. His players are all in the middle of the goal. Got to do better with your quality there from the crosses. Got to.
Villa. So it's going to be 3 consecutive defeats for Aston Villa in the Premier League after losing last time out in the league at home to Chelsea. Remember, they lost at Molineux before that, and it'll be 1 win out of 7 for them. Bruno Fernandes passes the ball forward again. Amad Diallo's got a little bit of space over there. White shirts coming back. Amad Diallo then from almost the dead ball line back to Kobbie Mainoo. Mainoo just outside the D. Square from him to Casemiro. Luke Shaw says give it to me, which he does now do. Villa have got everyone back though with the ball in the right back area, and actually the referee has spotted an infringement. Amad Diallo must have been offside.
Yes, he was.
And now the change, and it's Casemiro who will make way. Scored the breakthrough goal, really. Even though Villa did make it 1-1 through Ross Barkley, it was Casemiro whose goal got the ball rolling. And it was quite the reaction, wasn't it, from Casemiro, who's leaving the field now. After says he walks off, he looks every inch of his 34 years old. He looks as though he's given everything there. He pats his badge on his shirt. He applauds all the way around Old Trafford. We've got 8 minutes of added time now. Ugarte comes on for him. There's a little embrace with Michael Carrick. You know, this is the reaction of a man who knows it's coming to an end here.
Yeah.
4 years as a Manchester United player.
And the fans know as well, don't they? I mean, even the players.
There's a long pass over the top for Bailey to chase, but you're always there with him. Not able to get a touch, and it's through. And of course, you know, Casemiro knows, everyone knows that he might not score another one. That might have been his last goal for Manchester United.
Yeah, and what a goal it was as well. I mean, the players wanting to high-five him as well and say thank you very much for what you've done today. He's a class act, okay?
Yeah, and he's been questioned, hasn't he? You know, whether his legs had gone, as they say about players who are long in the tooth. But I think he's proved in this Michael Carrick system, alongside Kobbie Mainoo, as the ball is played over the top for Bruno Fernandes, can't reach that. Martinez comes out to take it. That he's Casemiro, that he has still got it. Back to the Women's League Cup final. Molly Stevens.
Well, I mentioned in my last update, John, the impact Aggie Beaver-Jones has had since being subbed on, and she's made it count now. She's put Chelsea 2-0 up on Manchester United in this Women's League Cup final from close range. Simple tuck away from her. Impressive stuff from Chelsea today. Chelsea 2, Manchester United 0.
Thank you, Molly. This time next week we'll be building up to the Men's League Cup final at Wembley. 5 Live, the place to listen to that. 4:30 kickoff next Sunday, when we will also have Tottenham against Nottingham Forest in the Premier League before it. And remember too, the league match between Manchester City and Arsenal will also be on 5 Live. Ball into the Manchester United box, Shaw does well to get up and head it away, and then Cunha turns, rolls away from Bogard, plays it back to Ugarte on the edge of his box. Tammy Abraham's just taken a knock in there, he's gone down, and Manchester United continue to play it away. Yes, 5 Live, the place to listen to Manchester City against Arsenal in the Premier League, Sunday the 19th of April. Put it in your diary. Ugarte running the ball away, passing it forward to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is challenged, it runs to Sesko, but then across from the back steps Maatsen, and Aston Villa have got it back. Yes, with these 2 assists in this match, Dion, that Bruno Fernandes has got, that is 16 Premier League assists this season, which is the most since David Beckham.
Wow!
In a season, assists for Manchester United in a Premier League season back in 99-2000, as Bruno Fernandes breaks forward again. He's got all of the energy, hasn't he? Bruno Fernandes, he has peak confidence at the moment. And Manchester United here, well, it's another step towards the return to Champions League football next season. Strengthens their position in third place in the Premier League. And Villa, and they are just a bit off it, aren't they, at the moment?
Yeah, they are just not quite clicking. It was an amazing response, I've got to say, from going behind, and Barkley gets his goal, but United have been incredibly patient there.
Yeah, and they come forward again, searching for a fourth, which I think would be a little harsh on Aston Villa. Sure, the olays though now from the Manchester United supporters. Commentary to come from 4:30 on Liverpool against Tottenham. Don't miss that either. Anything could happen there to Tottenham. Cunha, then Shaw on the challenge, but Garcia is able to deflect it out of play for a throw-in on the halfway line. And Shaw takes the throw back to Harry Maguire. So we're in 8 minutes of added time, Dion. We've already had 4 of them. And Manchester United, another win for Michael Carrick. Comes back to the same argument or discussion that we were having a couple of weeks ago during the Palace match. This looks, this record, 7 wins out of 9 for Michael Carrick. As Abraham comes back, plays it to Onana, who, under pressure from Amad Diallo, gives it away to Menu. He passes it forward to the left wing to Cunha. Cunha running at 2 Villa players, Bogard and Garcia. Cunha, though, gives it back to Kobe Menu, Bruno Fernandes, and then United start knocking it around again in the central third of the field. Yeah, and winning all of his matches at home. The Manchester United manager, that's nice. Cunha infield to Amad Diallo, approaching the area, left foot shot, that's blocked up in the air by Konza. Martinez comes and he makes the catch.
Yeah, I think Michael Carrick in his short spell so far, we don't know how he's done it. We're not in the dressing room, we're not at the training ground, I'm not in the bubble of football anymore. Whatever he's done it right. The players are looking very, very happy with themselves.
Garcia to Rodgers, then challenged, upended by Harry Maguire, who's going to get a yellow card for that challenge. Just stop Morgan Rodgers in his tracks, basically.
Yeah,
free kick.
Maguire not happy there that midfield players are not helping him out. He's out there on the left back spot there. Doesn't want to be out there as a centre half. You want to be between the posts, defending your goal.
Michael Carrick standing calmly, all in black. A little bit of silver, grey in his brown hair and his beard.
He seems to suit it though, doesn't he? Whatever it is, he suits it.
He's got that, hasn't he? That sort of...
Oh yes, cool. He's got a cool vibe.
Yeah, stature. Bailey standing near the corner of the box with Douglas Luiz. And from the set piece, Douglas Luiz plays it all the way across. Rodgers with the shot, but pulls it wide of the post as he looked at it, the left post by a couple of yards and behind. And it's a goal kick to Manchester United. And we are in the 7th minute of added time. But, as I say, that would be 6 wins out of 6 as the Manchester United manager this spell in his previous time as the interim. First Manchester United manager to do that since 1971, Franco Farrell. And listen, it's not how you start, but how you finish. But for Michael Carrick, how he started is highly important, isn't it? If, as he's not saying, he wants this job on a permanent basis, which surely he does.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, he's not the kind of person to speak like that. He does speak very openly and honestly, but there'll be a burning desire to take this job on and to take this football club and team forward without a doubt. And he will want to be the one that brings the glory days back to United, Champions League football, Premier League titles, anything like that. Michael will be the man, or want to be the man that does that. But he's very much a walk before I can run kind of fella.
And I noticed, did you see that? There was a clip this week. Sir Jim Ratcliffe was doorstepped, as we call it in the media world, by a reporter, I think it was a Sky reporter, who asked him about Michael Carrick. Villa break forward into the area, it's played across, Abraham middle of the goal, works it across, should be a goal. No, somehow Garcia and Douglas Luiz got in each other's way, even though it was an open goal. They got in one another's way and they couldn't put the ball into the net, and it stays 3-1. That was ridiculous. Here's Garcia again, not to mention Abraham, who had a chance in the middle. Garcia plays it back, Onana clips it in, headed away by Dalot, chested away by Sesko, and there is the final whistle. And that, if you like, Villa not being able to score there was the final indignity this afternoon. Manchester United, though, good winners, 3-1. And that is 7 out of 9 under Michael Carrick. He's won 5 out of 5 at home since returning to this job. And as a Manchester United manager, he's won all 6 here at Old Trafford. And Manchester United strengthen their position in 3rd against 4th-placed Aston Villa.
Yeah, United, in the end, just showing that they were the quality and composure in that final third. I mean, the last 30 seconds actually summed Villa up. Tammy Abrahams couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Douglas Luiz he was with Bailey. They just didn't chat at all, and there was no communication. Just, they're on different pages at the moment, Villa. They just look a little bit disjointed. Man United looking the opposite, especially at home. These fans were noisy today. So were the Villa fans, let's get it right. They played their part. But I think overall this 3-1 victory sounds and looks about right to me. Villa are a little bit off it. Man United very much on it.
Yeah, Villa, who, well, they couldn't play Jadon Sancho today against his parent club. Clearly missing Camara and Tielemans in midfield as well. But the fact is, that is 3 defeats in a row for Aston Villa and just 1 win in their last 7 league matches. However, they remain in 4th